Today's episode is brought to you by thisdayintheNFL.com. Celebrating football's greatest moments, one day at a time. Listen to classic broadcasts, explore historic games, and keep the legacy of the NFL alive at thisdayintheNFL.com.
Hi again, everybody. Tony Roberts along with Tom Pagnett. The Oakland Coliseum, 54,037. Cheering on the Oakland Raiders, who are forcing the New England Patriots to punt. There is no score. We're in the first quarter of this afternoon's game. 11:55 to go. Mike Patrick back to those 40 New England Patriots. They got one first down in this series when they took it over at the 16-yard line. And so the first punt of the afternoon. The boot is up. It's high. It's coming down to the near side. Deal Colby at the 30. Near sideline, 35. At the 40, 45. At the 50. Still on his feet. Back down at the 46-yard line. Of the New England Patriots. They're hit made by Woody Germany. The next Washington Redskin. And their team lost this afternoon. 46-yard punt. 24-yard return. What a day in Oakland, California. Clear skies. Temperature 58 degrees. Humidity is only 55%. Wind should not be a factor this afternoon. 8 miles per hour out of the west-northwest. Tom Pagnett, a great day for a football game.
It all started here, Tony, at the beginning of the NFL season, and we're watching that same Oakland team with a 13-1 record going in, and we just witnessed, just before we came onto the air, a tremendous display of hitting by the defensive secondary of the Oakland Raiders. Tatum with an incomplete pass, but Tatum really took a shot, and I think that sets the tone.
He hit Randy Batama just under the Adams apple and flattened him. Didn't knock him out, but put him right on the seat of his pants. And the tone of the game was set on the opening kickoff. New England had won the toss. Jess Phillips took the ball, brought it up the right side to the 16-yard line, and he was necktie tackled by Charles Phillips. And you'll wonder how his head remained on his shoulders. So the Raiders, who have the football now, 1st and 10. The first offensive series, they are led by Kenny Stabler. And what a year this young man has had. Kenny Stabler of the Oakland Raiders brings the ball club out. Cliff Branch is out wide left along with Fred Bolitnikoff. The tight end Dave Casper on the right side. Running back to Davidson Van Egan. Hand off to Davis coming to the outside at the 40 to 45. Up to the 47-yard line. There was a penalty on the previous play. The ball had been brought back to the Oakland 39-yard line. So the Raiders are in business. A gain on the play of almost enough yardage for the first down. It'll be about a yard and a half short of being a first down. Looking at the defensive alignment for the New England Patriots, Jody McGee, Ray Hamilton, and Julius Adams. They use a three-man front. The linebackers, Zabel, Hunt, Nelson, and Pete Barnes. Second down and short. Handoff, straight ahead. Van Egan, who gained 1,000 yards. Barrels past the 50, down to the 49-yard line. Julius Adams makes the stop on the play. But it's a first down for the Oakland Raiders, who started at the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 now for the Raiders. The Minnesota Vikings winning their game this afternoon. So Oakland has it. 1st down and 10. They are in New England territory. Let's call it about the 48-yard line. Out of the huddle they come. Bolitnikoff comes wide to the left. Now Branch, who is in the front to the left side, moves to the far sideline. Steps himself. Wide receivers left and right. Stabler back to throw. First one down the right sideline. Going to the speedster. Branch. Hold out of it at the 7-yard line. He was covered on the play by Bobby Howard, the left cornerback. 6'2", 177, a 10-year man out of San Diego State. Cliff Branch, 5'11", a speedster out of Colorado. Now in his 6th year in the National Football League. Fine set of receivers for Stabler to throw to. You've got Branch. You've got Bolitnikoff. And the gentleman they call the best tight end in the business nowadays, Dave Casper, 6'4", 228, a young man you had at Notre Dame, Tom, in his 4th year in the pros.
The Ghost, they call him, Tony, and rightly so. He gets open.
Second down and 10. Handoff off the right side, about the 45-yard line. And this ball play will be stopped to right there, right around the 45-yard line. It was Clarence Davis. Steve Nelson making the stop on the play. So a gain on the play of about 3, maybe 4. It'll be 3rd down now. Let's call it about 5 yards to go. We'll give him about 5 yards on the play. 3rd and about 5. No score. First quarter, 10-minute mark. Minnesota beats Washington. So one team sideline in the playoffs. Bolitnikoff comes to the near side. He'll be taken by Mike Haynes. Here's Stabler looking to throw. He's going to to the big rush on the right side. 6'4", 260 pounds, 6-year veteran of the Texas Southern. Wraps Stabler up. So they're going to put that ball down right around the 46-yard line. And Ray Guy, the prolific punter of the Oakland Raiders, 6'3", 195 pounds, 5-year veteran of the Southern Mississippi, will be in to boot. Ray Guy averaged 41.6 yards per boot on 67 punts.
Kenny Stabler at that time was trying to get Casper crossing in, the tight end to the right, crossing the field, but nothing was there. They so often just send 3 receivers out to give Kenny that extra protection.
Super rookie, Mike Hayes back. Guys kick angling toward the sidelines. It will be out of bounds. It is out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. It ought to be spotted down somewhere between the 13 and 14. And a 32-yard punt, no return on the out-of-bounds kick. So the Patriots take over the football. First down and 10, and they'll have it at their own, let's call it about the old 14-yard line. With a score, New England nothing, Oakland nothing. There's a timeout on the field. Now this.
The Patriots, who finished the league season with an impressive 11-3 record, defeated all 3 AFC playoff teams. They knocked off the Steelers, the Colts, and the Raiders, en route to their first playoff berth since 1963. New England concluded the season Sunday with a 31-14 conquest of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Patriots finished with 376 points scored, and that's the second-best total in the National Football League, and they gave up 236 points. These two opponents met last on Sunday. It was October 3rd at Schaefer Stadium, and Oakland got blown out on that one, 48-17. But the Raiders have not lost a game since, and as it turned out, that was the only game they lost all year. New England entering the playoffs, riding a 6-game win streak, while the Raiders have won 10 straight, closing out the league 24-0 against San Diego. Coach Chuck Fairbanks' explosive Patriots offense triggered by quarterback Steve Grogan.
Patriots have a huddle double set in. The ball goes to Sam DeVance Cunningham off the right side. Pass the 15 up to about the 16 or the 17-yard line. Sam Cunningham's been bothered by a shoulder injury. There was some doubt as to whether or not he would play today. He stopped on the play by Willie Hall. Gets about 4 yards. From around the 14-yard line up to about the 18. It'll be second down and 6 to go.
Well, Sam Cunningham, as you know, and everybody across the land does, is a wonderful weapon to have in that ground game, and that's where New England has really stuck it to Oakland on their earlier meeting.
Steve Burks is flanked wide to the right. Double tight end. Here's the handoff. Andy Johnson straight ahead to the 20 up to about the 21-yard line. Stopped by Kenny Hendricks on the play. So Andy Johnson gets the ball up to about the 21, and that's about it. Hendricks called the man Stork, had some great years as a member of the Baltimore Colts. The Colts play tomorrow afternoon. They'll take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tom Pagna and I will be there. Lindsey Nelson and Pat Sheridan will head for Dallas, Texas for the game between the Rams and the Dallas Cowboys. You'll hear both games over most of these Mutual Network stations. Another great afternoon of football over Mutual, the nation's #1 sports network. Wide left is Bataha. Grogan, the quarterback. Steve Grogan, back to throw. Takes the handoff to Johnson, throws the ball up. He's got it to Russ Francis, the tight end, and he is down at about the 31-yard line. The hit made by George Atkinson, the veteran linebacker, rather the veteran safety out of Morris Brown, 6'185-pounder. Russ Francis, 6'6", 240 pounds. He's a 2-year man out of Oregon, and he was the #3 pass receiver for the New England Patriots during the regular season. That's his 27th catch of the year. He averaged about 14 yards a catch. New England's got a first down. 7.5 to go. First quarter action. American Football Conference playoff. There is no score. Marlon Briscoe. Wide to the left. The handoff goes to Johnson, and Johnson's not going anywhere. Hit by Monty Johnson. Monty Johnson is 6'5", 240 pounds, a 5-year veteran out of Nebraska. He's one of the 4 linebackers for the Oakland Raiders. Andy Johnson, a running back, a 3-year man out of Georgia, 6', 204 pounds. Looking at the front 3, John Matuzak, the defensive left end, the nose tackle to Dave Rowe, Otis Sistrunk, the defensive right end. You've got Phil Villapiano, Monty Johnson, Willie Hall, and Teddy Hendricks, the linebackers left to right. The deep men, Alonzo Thomas, George Atkinson, Jack Tatum, and Willie Brown. plenty of experience. Johnson, Joe, carried the ball 4 times, has not gained a yard yet. Handoff goes to Sam to Bam Cunningham. Barrels off the left side on a hole between left guard, and left tackle, and flies past the 30 up to about the 33-yard line. The nose tackle, David Rowe, makes the hit on the play, but some fine blocking by Leon Gray and John Hanna. Gray out of Jackson State, a 4-year veteran. John Hanna, a 4-year veteran from Alabama, where he was an All-American. And Lindsay and I are going to be in Memphis, Tennessee for the Liberty Bowl. That's going to be Monday night, UCLA and Alabama. And again, you'll hear it over most of these mutual stations. Briscoe goes wide left. 5'180-pounder, a 9-year veteran from Nebraska. University of Nebraska at Omaha. Double wing formation. Back to throw. Grogan looking at the 23. Looks up the middle, throwing long, intended for Francis. One hand grab, 40, 35, 30. Down to the 28-yard line before he's run it all down by George Atkinson. Oh, beautiful lead pass by Grogan. And Russ Francis put that left hand up there like it were a bushel basket. Took the ball one hand, brought it to his body, and New England's in business at the 27-yard line of the Raiders. A 50-yard pass play.
And Russ Francis is carrying that 6'6", 240 in Oregon. Well, there's a timeout right now with a score 0-0. Now this word.
Coach Fairbanks' explosive Patriots offense triggered by Grogan. He's 6'4", 200 pounds, and a rifle arm, but he really laid that one in there very nicely. Grogan throwing for 18 touchdowns as he led the Patriots so far this season with 1,903 yards this year. He also added 406 yards rushing. Grogan averaged over 7 yards per carry in 1976 and set an all-time NFL record for rushing touchdowns by a quarterback with 12 six-pointers. 3 different New England running backs each rushed for almost 700 yards or more in league play this year. Sam Cunningham, the leading ground gainer with 824 yards, with Don Calhoun running for 721. That includes 4 consecutive 100-yard games. Andy Johnson, also the Patriots' leading receiver with 29 catches, rushed for 699 yards.
Well, we're going to apologize for the timeout that was not taken. Grogan back to throw. Pass is complete to Andy Johnson, and he's hustled out of bounds right around the 25, 26-yard line. It was second down and about 12 to go. Running play lost a couple of yards. So now we've got a third down play coming up, and about 7 yards to go for the first down. Phil Filippiano, Rand Johnson went out of bounds along with Woody Brown. So big key play here. Third down, the ball up to 25 of the Oakland Raiders. New England in possession, no score. Clock is wound down to 4.5. First period action, wide left. We've got Bataha. And in front of the left side is Darryl Stingley. Grogan is 4 to 5 this afternoon, 72 yards. Steve Grogan. 2-year man out of Kansas State. Back to throw. Got the time. Looking, throws. Pass is caught. 10, 5, and Briscoe down to the 1-yard line. Marvin Briscoe made the grab. Coming across the far side. Crossing pattern. And Briscoe makes the catch. Check it. Wait a minute now. It was not Briscoe. It was Darryl Stingley, the young man out of Purdue. And I think you'll remember him, Tom.
Certainly do. As a matter of fact, Grogan made a little run-action fake into the ground or into the interior of the line. Sistrunk from his right end defensive position was really putting the heat on, but the timing factor, Grogan had all the time in the world to spot him and let Stingley take a lead step.
Super job by Bill Lynn-Titus, the center. Sam Adams, the John Hanna, the guards, and the tackles Bob McKay and Leon Gray. They provided plenty of protection. Here's the handoff by Grogan. Andy Johnson hits the goal line. Is he in? Touchdown! The Patriots are on the board. So New England has gone 76 yards. Andy Johnson from the 1-yard line, and New England's out in front by a score of 6-0. And I think this is very important as far as the Patriots are concerned. If they have anything going against them, they are playing away from home. Not so much that factor, but the fact that this is their first playoff game, while the Raiders are veterans in playoff play.
Tony, that says an awful lot because this Pat team, that's their second possession, really moved the football, especially they mixed it up because Grogan is a threat to run. He's a good passer, and they have a tremendous offensive line.
John Smith, left-footed soccer style kicker, puts it up between the uprights. It's good with a score. New England 7, Oakland 0. There's a timeout on the field. Now they're
Getting back to the Patriots on the season, and specifically in that victory over the Raiders, the first time the two teams met, the Pats rushed for 296 yards, behind some great blocking by their experienced offensive line of Leon Gray and Bob McKay at the tackles, John Hanna and Sam Adams at the guards, and the center, Bill Linketis. Defensively, Coach Fairbanks pioneered the 3 and 4 defense in the National Football League, and no team plays that more effectively and aggressively than his New England Patriots. The past 4 starting linebackers total 22 years of pro experience. Steve Zabel and Pete Barnes are the outside backs, Sam Hunt and Steve Nelson inside. Hunt returned a pass interception in the final against Tampa Bay, 68 yards for a touchdown. The 1976 Patriots defense set a club record with 50 turnovers forced and 27 fumble recoveries and 23 pass interceptions. New England recording 47 quarterback sacks this season to rank with the tops in the NFL department.
It's 7-0. The New England Patriots are on top. The outstanding offensive and defensive players. For Don Childress-Deep, along with Carl Garrett. Garrett takes it at 5, at the 10, at the 15, to the near side of the 20, 25, at the 30. He's tripped up. Oh, he was off and running. He tripped up right around the 30-yard line, and it was made by Willie Germany, the ex-Washington Redskin. So the Raiders, who were down by a score of 7-0, after a 27-yard return by Garrett, will put the ball in play. First down and 10 at their 32-yard line. The fans really look for the Oakland team to put something together, and that'll ride on Stabler's arm. And you talk about receivers, he's got them. Tony mentioned them before: Cliff Branch, Fred Bolitnikoff, and Dave Casper. Here's Stabler back to throw. Puts the ball up in the air. It's caught at the 50, at the 47-yard line. He's going to be down right there. A big first down play for the Oakland Raiders. Freddie Bolitnikoff, 6'1", 190, a 13-year veteran out of Florida State. Does not have great speed. Boy, can he work himself open, and does he have great hands. Hunt and Fox made the hit for the New England Patriots, but the ball is in New England territory. So the Patriots went 86 yards, 10 plays. Johnson got it from the 1-yard line. Smith added the point after the touchdown, and now the Raiders back to throw. Stabler from the 45 to the right side. It is almost intercepted. Almost picked off by left corner Bob Howard. That was intended for Bolitnikoff. If Howard intercepts that one, he's off to the races, and the Raiders are down by 2 touchdowns. Right now, we're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is Mutual, your news and sports radio network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
That'll make it 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Steve Nelson and Sam Hunt come out. Willie Germany is in as they go to the nickel defense now. Willie Germany is one of the 2 backs in there. Bolitnikoff on the far side. Then the slot to the right. Stabler on the draw play. The handoff going to Davis, and Davis barreling ahead. Gets to the 45, down to about the 43-yard line. And that's it. As he's hit out there by Mel Lunsford, a 6'3", 250-pound, 4-year veteran out of Central State of Ohio. And also by Julius Adams. A gain on the play, let's call it 4. 3rd down and long, 6 to go for the Oakland Raiders at the New England 43-yard line. Well, Kenny Stabler likes so much in this instance to go to run-action pass and kind of favors tight end Dave Casper. He has, as he's led the league most of the year in reception. 3rd down conversions. The Raiders are 1 for 2. Stabler back to throw. Puts the ball up the Branch at the 37, 35, at the 30, at the 25-yard line. Before he finally stopped on the play. He was hit by Jimmy Fox, the rookie free safety out of Ohio State. But Cliff Branch got that ball cut across field. They'll put the ball down at the 26-yard line, and the Raiders are on the move. Well, Cliff Branch has 9.2 speed, but they delayed him from the wide side receiver left. Delayed him, let it clear out, and then he got in a foot race diagonaling across the field, and Stabler had enough time to deliver the ball. 15-yard pass play for the first down. So the Raiders in business here. First down and 10. Slot right, handoff. The ball going to Davis. Clarence Davis at the 25, tries to turn the corner, runs into one of the New England Patriots, and he is hustled out of bounds by Mike Haynes, the right cornerback, a rookie out of Arizona State, who has tremendous potential. 6'2", 189-pounder, and one of the very best in the league. Well, Gene Upshaw is a little unhappy with that particular play. It was a sweep going to the left. Gene knocked his man inside out,
but the running back didn't quite see it. Clarence Davis not dipping it inside, went to the sideline for a no-gainer.
4 carries for Davis, a total of 22 yards. The ball is now at the 23-yard line. Wide left, we've got Cliff Branch out to the left, Bolitnikoff, Stabler back to throw, throws the ball to the end zone, almost intercepted. Pass was intended for Bolitnikoff, and Stabler took quite a shot. Furnace McCray, leaping high in the air, almost picked it off in the end zone. McCray is 6'1", 187 pounds, a 3-year man out of Arizona State. You look at that defensive secondary for the New England Patriots. The only veteran out there really is Bob Howard, a 10-year man out of San Diego State. McCray now in his 3rd season. Timmy Fox and Mike Haynes, the free safety and right corner, are rookies.
Well, Kenny Stabler that time really went for the gold market instead of the small badge because there was a tight end underneath that was wide open, and he didn't really see the free safety coming over.
Double to the right side. We've got Bolitnikoff and Branch to the left side. We have the big tight end Casper. Pass is blocked down. Kenny Stabler tried to sidearm that ball to the left side, and it was knocked down by the nose tackle, Ray Hamilton, 6'1", 245-pound, 4-year man out of Oklahoma. So the front three, Tony McGee, Ray Hamilton, and Julius Adams. The linebackers, Zabel, Sam Hunt, Steve Nelson, and Pete Barnes. Zabel now 2 for 6 at a total of 38 yards. The ball is at the 23-yard line of New England. It's 4th down, about 7 yards to go. And in. We've got David on the hold, and we've got Errol Mann, the former Detroit line, to kick. The kick will come from the 30-yard line. Spotted down. The kick is up there. It's got a chance. It is good. A 40-yard field goal by Errol Mann with a score. New England 7, Oakland 3. There's a timeout on the field. Now this.
Oakland Raider coach John Madden is expected to go with the same units, and he has, so that earned the Raiders their best one-loss record in the league. Stabler sat out the finale against San Diego, and they had a banner season in '76, 194 completions at a completion rate of over 66%, and he led the National Football League in touchdown passes with 27 and threw for 2,737 yards. Running back, leading ground gainer Mark Van Eaglen, who finished the season with 1,012 yards rushing, and Clarence Davis, who also was held out against San Diego with 516 yards. Pete Banaszak with 370 yards, and Carl Garrett with 220 yards also will be seeing considerable action. The Raiders offense operating behind a veteran line of tackles Art Shell and Sean Vella, guards Gene Upshaw and George Bueller, along with center Dave Dalby. So the Oakland Raiders trailing at this point by the score of 7-3.
7-3. New England out in front. The Oakland Raiders came back after the New England Patriots had gone 86 yards for the go-ahead score. The Raiders came back 68 yards, a minute 13 left to play in the 3rd period, 8 plays, and they settled for a 40-yard field goal by Errol Mann. Kick high, coming down. It'll be Jeff Phillips at the 4, the 5, the 10, 15 at the 17-yard line. And he is down right there at the 17-yard line. Morris Bradshaw making the hit on the play. So New England will put the ball in play. 1st down and 10 at about the 17 or 18-yard line. A 14-yard return. And one of the Raiders shaken up on the play down at the 19-yard line. Can't see who it is. Mike Ciani, who's the backup to Fred Bolitnikoff as the wide receiver.
If it is Mike Ciani, they're checking out his knee to see if it's loose. And I know that hurts because he's a fine backup receiver and one of those guys that you just have to play on the special teams.
Looking at the stat for the New England quarterback, Steve Grogan, 6'4", 200-pounder, a 2-year man out of Kansas State. And he's just had a great year. Coming into this game, 145 out of 302 passes. He's completed 48%, 1,903 yards. A total of 18 touchdowns. However, he has been intercepted a total of 20 times, and that's high in the American Football Conference. By contrast, Kenny Stabler had 194 completions in 291 attempts, 66.7% completion, 27 touchdowns. He was intercepted a total of 17 times. Mike Ciani being carried off the field, at least helped off the field. So he'll come to the sideline. And a welcome to our servicemen and women at home and overseas as today's game is being carried over the American Forces Radio Network. We certainly hope that you enjoy the game and will have a most happy holiday season. Randy Mataha, the mighty man out of Stanford, 5'10", 170-pounder. It is sixth year in the National Football League. Along with Darryl Stingley, wide left and right. Brogan on the handoff. The ball going to Sam the Bam Cunningham, but he barrels straight ahead. Gets the ball up to about the 20-21-yard line before being stopped by nose tackle David Rowe, linebacker Monty Johnson. A gain on the play of about 3 at the nose, second down and 7 yards to go. New England, as time winds down in the first quarter out in front here over Oakland, 7-3 on a beautiful sunshiny day in Oakland, California. Couldn't have a better day for a football game. Stingley goes wide to the left. Brogan with the deuce backfield. Cunningham and Johnson. Stingley in motion out toward the near side. The handoff to Sam the Bam at 20, 25, 26-yard line. Kenny Hendricks making the hit on the play, but he also had some help from the linebacker Phil Villapiano. Not enough yardage for the first down, but it'll be third down and about 2 yards to go for the first down. The offensive line of the New England Patriots, one of the very best in the National Football League. 3 seconds, 2 seconds to go, 1, and there it is. That's the end of the first quarter with a score. The New England Patriots 7 and the Oakland Raiders 3.
Coach John Madden finished the 1976 season with an 8-year league game record of 83 wins, 22 losses, and 7 ties, and that gives him a pro career winning percentage of 79%. And he says he's going to go with that orange defense the Raiders have featured through the season. That's their 3-4 defense. Normally in pro football, it's called a 4-3 with 4 linemen rushing. Your 2 ends and 2 defensive tackles and the 3 linebackers, but they don't do it that way. They have 3 men rushing with 4 linebackers. The 3 frontliners, Otis Sistrunk at right end, Dave Rao at middle guard, and John Matuzak at left end. Then the linebacker foursome, Teddy Hendricks on the right side, Phil Villapiano on the left side, and Monty Johnson and Willie Hall working in the middle. The veteran Raider secondary featuring their most severe challenge this year, Willie Brown at right corner, Skip Thomas at left, George Atkinson at strong safety, and Jack Tatum at free safety.
The score is 7-3 in favor of the New England Patriots, and they get their third possession chance after the timeout. They're going to start the drive on their own 25-yard line, and you know, this is the first time, Tony, I've really had an opportunity to watch Grogan play in person, and I'm really impressed with him because, you know, he's only got 2 years background out of Kansas State. He's got good size. He's got a tremendous release of the football. I know he can score. He's leading, as a matter of fact, for a quarterback, has all the records for scoring touchdowns, so he's a runner. He seems to have a real calm and a poise about him that really belies his young age.
Well, he's run the ball in 12 times, and he scored once on a return, so he's got 13 touchdowns this year. Sends Mataha wide to the left. Off to the right, we've got Darryl Stingley. Deuce backfield of Cunningham and Andy Johnson. Steve Grogan out of Kansas State gets the snap. Back to throw. Looks, trying to get that ball right up over the middle, but the ball was knocked down. There are 2 penalty markers, however, on the far side of the field. The ball was knocked down by the nose tackle David Rowe. Got those big hands up there, but 2 penalty markers went down at about the 28-yard line, and I believe it's going to be a wrap against the Oakland Raiders.
Well, I see the defensive coach on the sideline pulling at his hair, and I think you might be right, Tony. We'll get the signal shortly.
Russ Francis has removed his helmet and is wiping his forehead. He may have taken a shot in the head, or at least a face mask grab. It's going to be a wrap against the Raiders. It'll bring the ball up to about the 30-yard line, where it becomes first down and 10. Was it pulling the face mask?
Yes.
First and 10 for New England.
And that's an easy thing to happen when the linebacker's playing head up over a tight end, trying to hold him up from going out on a course.
Phil Villapiano was the man who grabbed the face mask. They shift out of the eye in the backfield. Here's the fake handoff by Grogan. Looking, got a man open over the middle, goes to the sideline instead. But the pass is intended for Andy Johnson, but it's incomplete as it goes out of bounds. Teddy Hendricks and Willie Brown were covering on the play for the Oakland Raiders. The Patriots in the white uniforms with the blue and the red piping, while the Oakland Raiders are in the silver pants and the black jerseys and the silver helmets.
Well, that time he tried to get Marlon Briscoe, that is, Grogan tried to get Marlon Briscoe aligned wide to his left to cross and cross underneath Andy Johnson, but they both wound up being on Johnson. He just threw it away.
Bingley goes wide right. Randy Bataha's out to the left. I formation. Front man in the eye is Sam the Dam Cunningham, the former Southern Cal star. Hand off to Randy Johnson up over the middle. Finds a hole and fires straight ahead up to the 35, 37-yard line. David Rowe makes the hit on the play, along with Mark Willie-Hall, the linebacker.
And that's the kind of thing that Sam did so well at Southern Cal. He's the lead blocker in the I formation, and Randy Johnson's having a great year running, so it's kind of an isolation, letting Sam pick up a linebacker blocking man-on-man with the line.
So it'll be third down. Third down and about 3 yards to go. Third down conversion. New England's made 4 out of 6 this afternoon. Grogan looks over the defense. Grogan back to throw. Grogan throwing up over the middle. Intended for Briscoe. Penalty marker on the play. But it's in the backfield, and the left may be against them. It's going to be against New England. It'll be an illegal motion penalty against the New England Patriots.
Well, he had that little cross pattern again with Briscoe and Johnson. This time he tried to hit Briscoe on the look-in, the quick look-in, and the ball was pretty well thrown, but would have been neutralized anyhow with this penalty.
Briscoe played his college ball at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, where he was a quarterback. But when he came into the National Football League, or rather the American Football League, he signed with Denver, and he did play quarterback there, but then was changed to a receiver, played quarterback under Lou Saban, a member of the Denver Broncos. Neil Colty, the lone single safety for the Oakland Raiders at the 25-yard line. Mike Patrick back to boot, gets the down high snap, and gets it off. It's returnable. Colty with the ball at about the 27, at the 30-yard line, at the 35, at the 40, at the 43, at the 45-yard line, where he's finally down the play at the 45-yard line. He is hit by Steve Burke. 36-yard punt, an 18-yard return, and the Raiders, who trail by a score of 7-3, are in business. But wait a minute. Is there a penalty on the play? See where they put the football down. Nope, it's going to be 1st and 10 for Oakland. It'll be at their 45-yard line. Now, yes, there was a penalty marker. An illegal man downfield for New England, declined by the Raiders. They want that field position, and they've got it 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Colty gave him a boost on the thing. It's a real bull to be able to return the ball anything beyond 10 yards. It's a real fine return. That time he had a little fence set up along the right sideline. Well, with the score, 7-3 in favor of the New England Patriots over the Oakland Raiders. There's a timeout on the field. Now this...
Taking a look at what happened in college basketball on Friday, Kentucky over Bowling Green 77-59. Alabama 70, Oklahoma State 61. Indiana 50, DePaul 42. San Francisco 90, Pacific 73. UCLA 107, Rice 60. Nevada, Las Vegas 112, North Dakota State 81. In the National Hockey League, Washington 3, Toronto 2. The New York Islanders 4, Atlanta 2. In the World Hockey Association Friday, Birmingham 4, Houston 3, Indianapolis 5, New England 4. That was in overtime. And Edmonton 1, Phoenix 0. In the National Hockey League on Saturday, Atlanta at Detroit, Buffalo at the Islanders, Washington at Pittsburgh, Colorado is at Toronto, Boston is at Cleveland, the Rangers at Chicago, Philadelphia at St. Louis, Vancouver at Minnesota, and Montreal is playing at Los Angeles.
Jody Roberts along with Tom Pagner. Oakland Coliseum, 7-3 New England. Sailor back to throw at the 35-yard line. Fires, pass is incomplete. Intended for Dave Casper, had it in his grasp at about the 45 of New England. Just couldn't hold out with Sam Hunt, the linebacker, covering on the play. Incomplete pass. That'll make it 2nd down and 10.
He had a divided back net that time, and he faked a quick trap over the middle. And when Stabler made the little fake, he was trying to get a hold of Casper, but Casper was being held up pretty well and pretty tough to get out of there right now.
The Patriots pull their linebacker, Sam Hunt. They insert Dave Tipton, so they'll probably not go to a 4-man rush. 2nd down and 10 at the 45. David back to throw, dumped it out in the flat. Davis at the 40, at the 45, breaks the tackle, gets to the 50-yard line. And he picks up from the 40 to the 50, 5 yards on the play. Took that pass about 5 yards deep. Jodius Adams and Dave Tipton made the stop for the Patriots. So now it's 3rd down and 5 to go. With the ball at midfield. Oakland trailing by a score of 7-3. The Raiders have won 10 in a row. The Patriots come in here with a 6-game winning streak. Tipton comes out. Sam Hunter's back in. Richard Bishop, who was in, is also out as a nose tackle.
And Tony, the Oakland fans were yelling, go, go, go. They've been in this position many times. They want this win badly.
Third down conversions. Oakland 2 out of 4 this afternoon. Back to throw. Stabler looking. Pumps once. Looks. Throws up over the middle. Almost intercepted by Sam Hunt. Sam Hunt reaching up. Got the ball at about the 36-yard line. Couldn't hold on. I was watching Sam Hunt in the pregame warm-up as the New England quarterbacks throw to the lineman who run downfield toward the goal line, and Sam Hunt couldn't catch the ball. So I said to myself, Sam Hunt as a linebacker does not have good hands.
At least he knocked it down. I guess that's maybe more important. It's funny, at Stabler sending out 4 receivers more times than I've ever remembered. They really try to give him maximum protection. But, of course, even that didn't work this last time.
Mike Haynes is deep. Ray Guy back to boot. Stabler 309, 43 yards. The snap, and Guy gets it up. It's high. Bearcat signal 4, and he takes it at about the 17-yard line. Mike Haynes does, signaling for the Bearcats. And now the Patriots will put the ball in play. First down and 10, a 39-yard boot by Guy. New England out in front by a score of 7-3. In case you joined us late, they went 86 yards in 10 plays on their second possession. Andy Johnson ramming it in from the 1-yard line with a score. New England 7, Oakland 3. A timeout on the field. Now this,
Taking a look at what happened in the National Basketball Association Friday, the New York Knicks 123, Boston 109. Detroit over Indiana 113 to 104. Milwaukee 126, the New York Nets 110. Chicago 103, San Antonio 101. Golden State 117, Philadelphia 114, Washington 99, Buffalo 88. Atlanta 113, New Orleans 109. It was Los Angeles 118, Phoenix 105, and Portland 127, Denver 105. In the National Basketball Association Saturday, Cleveland is at the New York Knicks. Boston is at Atlanta. Golden State plays at Washington. Philadelphia is at Indiana. New Orleans is at Houston. Chicago plays at Denver. Kansas City is at Phoenix. And Los Angeles is at Portland. So that's a look at what happened in the National Basketball Association on Friday and a look at the schedule Saturday.
Here come the Patriots to put it in play at the 17-yard line. New England out in front by a score of 7-3. Stingley is wide to the right. Now comes back in motion toward the line of scrimmage. The quick pitch outside. Cunningham slips and falls. He was cutting in. He slipped and Villano was covering on the play for the black-shirted Raiders. So there's going to be a loss on the play of about 3 yards. It'll be second down and 13 yards to go.
Well, opening up that play, of course, he's going out now with their second tight end, Al Chandler. Number 87 was in along with Russ Francis, and now they made the substitution to put the 2 wide receivers in. It's a good running surface to have 2 tight ends, and what a bulge when you can run the football, especially down in your own territory.
Bataha comes out to the left. Wide to the right is Darryl Stingley, the young man from Purdue. Bam to Bam Cunningham and Andy Johnson in the backfield. Russ Francis now moved in motion to the far side. He was a tight end left. Grogan is back to throw, looking, throws that ball. 20 at the 15-yard line, at the 20-yard line. The catch was made by the back in the backfield. Sam Cunningham got it up to the 20-yard line, picked up what he'd lost on the previous play, and got about 3 more. That'll make it third down at about 7 yards to go. Villano and George Atkinson, the left side linebacker, and the strong safety, respectively, made the stop on the play. Nose tackle David Rowe comes out. And into the game now, we've got Herb McMath, who is 6'4", 245 pounds, a number 4 draft choice out of Morningside College. Third down conversions, Grogan is 4 out of 7. High formation. Here's Grogan on the half, big handoff to Andy Johnson. Grogan looking, throwing that ball. It's caught up there, and it's going to be a late. There was a little bit of a late hit by Tatum, but the ball was caught by Darryl Stingley, the wide receiver, and he made the grab at about the 33-yard line, and it's going to be a first down for the New England Patriots. He used to call that the old transcontinental pass because he rolled to the right, then came back and threw the ball against the grain off to the left side.
I don't think he really intended it, Tony. He did roll to the right. I think he felt the pressure from Sistrunk on the right defensive end, And that little inside fake did hold linebackers and open up a little seam over the middle.
So it's first down for New England. They're out in front here by a score of 7-3. Singley's wide right, but Taha to the left. Handoff goes to Cunningham. He is back in the backfield. He goes absolutely nowhere. Otis Sistrunk, 6'4", 273 pounds, never played any college football. A 6-year veteran of the National Football League wars. Wrapped him up right at the 31-yard line. A loss of about a yard in the play. So now the Patriots will have to go with second down and 11. Sam the Bam has carried 8 times, and the net 11 yards.
Well, Steve Grogan is a very exciting player to me. I love the way he's mixing his plays up. The defenses haven't changed that much. Most of the time we're seeing single free safety.
Briscoe is wide right. Here's Grogan back to throw. Singley's wide left, looking, throwing, pass is incomplete. Was deflected by Willie Hall, and it's incomplete. Willie almost picked it up. Played a super game in our first broadcast here. First game of the year against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and won himself a starting job. Pass is intended for Martin Briscoe. So that's going to make it third down and 11 to go. And Randy Vitale comes in. The Patriots, of course, coached by Chuck Fairbanks, who had tremendous amount of success at Oklahoma. And they have a Cinderella team for the 1976 football season. Vitale, 5'10", 170 pounds, wide left. Singley goes out to the right. Francis, the tight end, is on the right side. Third down, 11 to go. The ball at the 31. Grogan back to throw. Looking, fires up over the middle. Penalty marker on the play. The pass is incomplete. It was intended for Darryl Singley. Penalty marker on the play. Covering was Alonzo Skip Thomas of the Oakland Raiders. And who will the route be again?
Well, the palms up routine went to Skip Thomas. I don't know whether they'll call it on him, but he seemed to think he was in danger of having one called against him.
And it looks like the walk-off is going to be against the Oakland Raiders. Steve Burke, 6'5", 211 pounds, a 2-year man out of Arkansas State. Comes into the backfield now, rather in as a wide receiver. The walk-off will bring the ball up to about the 37-yard line. It'll be pass interference against the Oakland Raiders, and that also means it's going to be a first down for the New England Patriots. So we've got 10:01 left to play here in the first half, with the score New England out in front 7-3. And in the penalties, 3 now against the Raiders, a total of 25 yards. I'm Tony Robertson along with John Pagna. We hope you'll join us tomorrow afternoon right around 2 o'clock at Baltimore's Memorial Stadium. Bert Jones and the Baltimore Colts against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Rocky Blyer, Franco Harris and company. Wide right coming in motion toward the line of scrimmage. Was Singling handoff goes to Randy Johnson. Penalty marker on the play, and Boyd Johnson was wrapped up right around the line of scrimmage by nose tackle David Rowe. The Oakland Raiders are a very physical team here this afternoon, as was the case when Tom and I were here in the first game of the year against the Pittsburgh Steelers, a holding call against the New England Patriots.
Well, David Rowe got up just snarling. You could see it from all the way up here in the booth, Tony, and the reason was obvious enough. He was being held on. It was going to be a little inside fake and then a sweep by Randy Johnson, and they're marching it off.
All right, they'll go with John Matuzak at defensive left hand. He's 6'7", 270 pounds, a 5-year man from Tampa. Dave Rowe, 6'7", 271, in his 11th season from Penn State. And Otis Sistrunk, 6'4", 273, in his 6th year, did not play college ball. Make it first down at about 20 yards to go for the Patriots. Vitale out to the right. The handoff to Sam the Bam Cunningham. Finds a little running room. Charges from about the 27-yard line up to around the 30 or the 31-yard line, where he stacked up on the play by 4 or 5 Raiders. David Rowe was there, so was linebacker Monty Johnson. What's the advantage of the 3-4, and what's the weakness of the 3-4?
The advantage is pass coverage, Tony, right now, because you have the 4 linebackers able to get to their zones or able to get to their men right immediately. Of course, the disadvantage is that it's only a 3-man rush, and you are playing a nose man with 2 outside force people.
Second down. About 16 to go. Grogan on the handoff. Cunningham coming around on the right side at the 30. Turns the corner at the 35-yard line. Penalty markers on the play, and he is finally hustled out of bounds somewhere around the 40-yard line. The penalty marker thrown back at about the 30 is going to be a holding call against the New England Patriots. The signal there by Otis Sistrunk, who looked toward the bench and said, holding on the Patriots. Phil Piano finally ran Sam the Bam out of bounds. So the Patriots can't get it going. 2 infractions and 2 plays here. I got second down and about 17 to go, and it's going to be another walk-off against Oakland.
I think it's kind of an indication of the intensity we're seeing here because this drive was kept alive by the Oakland Raiders making an error on third down, and then, of course, back-to-back penalties by the New England Patriots. They didn't want to put the ball in the air that time, so Steve Grogan gave it a kind of a modernized version of the Statue of Liberty. Sam set up like pass protection. Grogan went to the pocket, wheeled a little bit, came behind him, and he handed it off. To no avail with that penalty tacked on.
Second down and just a little over a fourth of the football field to go. 26 yards to go for the first down. The ball is at the 20-yard line. Grogan back to throw. Looking, throwing down the sideline. Intended for Badaha. Can't get it. Badaha couldn't get it. Willie Brown was covering on the play. And Willie Brown apparently lost his footing on the play somewhere around the 48-yard line. I think Brown talking to the officials saying, hey, he tripped me.
That could have been a very big play had the ball been on the money, and luckily for the Raiders, it was overthrown because Vatara, as Tony points out, was in the clear.
And a lot of pressure from guys like Otis Sisson, Clermont Mass, John Matuzak, and if they throw in a couple of blitzing linebackers or two, we'll have to wait and see. We've got Stingley going wide right, slot left. Actually, it's a single wing formation. Back to throw, handoff, the ball going to Sam the man. Then he fumbled on the play. Oakland has recovered at about the 22-yard line. Raiders recovered a fumble at the 22-yard line. Willie Hall was the guy who got the fumble. Well, it was one of those things, Tony, where Steve Durbin says, I'm going to play it safe. I'll give him a decoy look of 4 receivers, one back in the backfield. I'll go back like I'll pass because it's third and long. We'll slip a little draw in there to Sam. It backfired because Sam, just about the time he got possession, the ball was ripped out of his arm, and it turned around where they didn't punt the ball and now lose tough field position. So the fumble recovery by Willie Hall sets it up for Oakland. First down and 10 at the 21-yard line. Handoff goes to Van Egan, goes off the left side, inside the 20 down to the 15-yard line. Good 6 yards on the play by Van Egan as Steve Nelson and Timmy Fox make the stop, but not before the Raiders come up with 6. It'll be second down and 4 to go. We're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is Mutual, your News and Sports Radio Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Raiders come out of the huddle. Flat to the right side. Van Egan and Davis to the backfield. Hand off to Davis. Davis up over the middle. Inside the 15 and pound drives down to about the 11-yard line. But he has fumbled on the play. And it looks like New England may have recovered. The Raiders have recovered. It makes up the Patriots have recovered the football.
Well, that's a very, very big play by the Patriot defense because that turnover, what looked like was going to be a sure possibility of 3 points and possibly even a score for the Raiders, is now neutralized. Well, there's a timeout with a score. The New England Patriots 7, the Oakland Raiders 3. Now this word.
Taking a look at what happened in that NFC playoff game earlier in the day at Wilmington, Minnesota, Chuck Foreman rushed for 2 touchdowns and joined unheralded Brent McClanahan in rushing for 100 yards apiece to propel the Vikings past Washington 35-20 and into the NFC Championship game for the 3rd time in 4 years. Fran Tarkenton added 3 touchdown passes in just 3 quarters of work to ensure the Vikings the home field in the title game next week against the winner of the Los Angeles-Dallas game at Texas Stadium Sunday. With the Redskins keying on Foreman in the first half, McClanahan ran wild in gaining 67 yards, and that's more than he had ever gained in a single game before, much less than a half. And he finished the day with his first 100-yard game ever with 101 yards and 20 carries. As a matter of fact, in his first carry of the ball game, in the first play of the game, he ran for 41 yards to the Washington 25 to set up the first touchdown of the game.
It's Tom Pagner at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum on a beautiful day for football. Temperature right around 58 degrees. Oakland, California. The score 7-3. New England just recovered a fumble. Steve Nelson got the recovery. And so the Patriots put the ball in play. First down and 10 at their own E11-yard line. Logan, the quarterback, the 2-year man from Kansas State. There's a wide receiver to the right. Turns around, gives the ball over to Sam the Bam Cunningham, and he gets up over the middle, gets the ball up to about the 14-yard line before being stopped by nose tackle David Rowe. So it'll be second down and about 7 yards to go for the first down. Remember, at halftime today, we'll be announcing the winner of it. Out to the right. Deuce backfield. Johnson and Cunningham. Grogan turns around. Fakes to Andy Johnson. Rolling to the left. Looking. Gets the block. At the 15. Running it at the 20. At the 22-yard line. And very wisely runs out of bounds. Forced out by Teddy Hendricks and Willie Brown, who would come over on the play. So Grogan finds the opening. Scampers out of bounds. Right around the 22.
Well, Tony, I think, that is the dimension that a young quarterback has. They've taken the ball over deep in their own territory 4 or 5 times now. 16-yard line, 14-yard line, 18-yard line. Started this one at the 11. He picked up an easy first down there by virtue of the fact that Otis Sistrunk got hooked in by the offensive tight end, and he was allowed to get outside of the contain and pressure with the threat of a pass, but ran it for the first down.
Arnon Briscoe wide left. First down. The ball is at the 22-yard line. Grogan, the quarterback, has Stingley in motion toward the line of scrimmage. Now rolling to the right. May throw it on the run at the 50, at the 20, at the 25, cutting back at the 27. Still on his feet, dives ahead, and dives under a tackle. Gets the ball up to the 30-yard line. Oof. Nice move by Grogan, who picked up a tough 8 yards on the play. That'll make it second down and about 2 yards to go. Filippiano was there. Monty Johnson, Willie Brown.
Well, I would like to venture a guess here. The third and short is kind of the daring kind of thing that I think Steve Grogan might do. I look for a run-action pass.
Actually, second down and about a yard to go. 2nd and 1. So they send Stingley and Vataha in a slot left. The tight end Francis is on the right side. Here's Grogan turning around, gives the ball to Johnson. Johnson fights to about the 32. And I don't know if he got the first down yardage or not. He tried to go over the right side. Yep. The official said he did get the first down. Filippiano, the left side linebacker, made the stop on the play, but it's another first down for the Patriots. You talked about their field position. They have never put the ball in play outside their 20-yard line. The first time they got it was at the 16, the 14, the 18, the 17, and the 11. So if field position wins it, eventually the Raiders have to win this football game. And right now, New England's out in front by a score of 7-3. And they have started to move. Wide to the right goes Stingley. Double tight end. Flip back. Grogan turns around, fakes to Johnson, looking to throw, has the time, gets the ball off. Penalty markers on the play, and maybe a face mask grab against the Oakland Raiders. Filippiano and George Atkinson made the hit.
Well, that's a standard kind of a double tight end offensive play where they do a double fake into the line, delay the right tight end, drive off the flanker back to the right, and then a delay man underneath in the flat. But that time the Oakland Raiders were up to the chore because Skip Thomas on the left side and Filippiano were right on it, but apparently they did call the face mask penalty. We'll look for the signal, and we're pretty sure that that's what it is.
That's what it was. Face mask, personal foul. Al Chandler was the guy who caught the ball. Chandler's a backup to Russ Francis. Chandler is 6'3", 229 pounds, a third-year man out of Oklahoma. So Francis now back in. Chandler's out. 4 penalties, a total of 40 yards now against the Oakland Raiders. Vataha comes wide to the left along with Darryl Stingley. Flat to the left side. Grogan, a quarterback. Turns around, gives the ball to Johnson on the 50 to the right at the 50, at the 45. Puts his head down and fires inside the 45 down to about the 44-yard line. Filippiano again was there on the play. Atkinson had come up. And also we've got Willie Hall. Leon Clay and John Hanna pulling out the right side to lead the blocking on the play. And in the backfield, Darren Calhoun, they call him the super sub. He came in when Cunningham hurt his shoulder, played about 4 games, gained 721 yards. Calhoun is 6 foot 198 pounds, a 3-year man out of Kansas State. With a score, New England 7, Oakland 3. There's a timeout on the field. Now this.
More on that Minnesota-Washington playoff game, won by Minnesota 35-20. George Foreman added a 30-yard scoring run in the third quarter, and then Fran Tarkenton finished off the Minnesota scoring with a 9-yard scoring toss to Sammy White with 37 seconds remaining in the third period. Washington did not score a touchdown until Billy Kilmer hit Frank Grant from 12 yards out with 10:42 remaining in the game. Kilmer connected with Roy Jefferson from 3 yards out with just 33 seconds left for the only other Washington touchdown. Mark Mosley booted field goals of 47 and 35 yards in the first and third quarters as the Redskins kept their playoff string intact of never having won on the road since the new format was established in 1970. Washington is 0-5 with 4 of the losses coming when the Redskins took part as a wild card team. Tarkenton hit 12 of 21 for 170 yards before departing with a 35-6 lead.
Wagner along with Tony Roberts at the Oakland Coliseum, where the New England Patriots are winning 7-3 over the Oakland Raiders. And the thing, Tony, that is fascinating to me is that a young team, never having been in this position before, coming all the way out to Oakland to play in the playoff game, they're moving the football. They've overcome some adversity by starting deep in their own territory several times, but they've proven that they have a great diversity of offense. They run the football, they get in the I formation, they send out 5 receivers.
Wide left, we've got Briscoe out to the right, Darryl Stingley. Here's Grogan cutting around, gives the ball to Andy Johnson, and Andy goes right up over the middle, but he's upended by Monty Johnson, the linebacker, right around the line of scrimmage, dives forward, and gets the ball inside the 45, down to about the 43-yard line, where now the Patriots are faced with third down and about a yard to go for the first down. 5 minutes and 20 seconds showing on the clock. Briscoe comes out. Darryl Stingley is out. Now they'll go to the double tight end line with Russ Francis and Al Chandler. 6 out of 10 third down conversions for the New England Patriots. Pete Brock comes in. He's going to be at center. Brock is 6'5", 253, a rookie out of Colorado. Double tight end. Everybody on the line of scrimmage. Handoff. Johnson going wide right. Cuts in at the 45. Trying to get down to the 42-yard line, 41-yard line. But he's not going to make it for the first down. Willie Hall and Jack Tatum came up to beat the play.
Well, that was a very big third down for the Patriots because with just a yard to go, they're down into 4-down territory. If they make the first, pretty obvious that he didn't make it, although it's very close. And on the 4th down try, if indeed they didn't make it, I believe they may go for the thing rather than punt it.
All right, we're going to have our first very important measurement of the afternoon. It is just about 4 or 5 inches short of being a first down. About 4 or 5 inches short of being a first down. 4 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. We're in the second quarter. New England leads at 7-3. They're about 4 inches away from a first down. They have reached the Oakland 42-yard line. It is now 4th down. 4 inches to go. Logan looking to the sideline. And Coach Chuck Fairbanks, he says, go for it. The linebackers, Filippiano, Johnson, Hall, and Kenny Hendricks. And let's see how they deploy themselves along with the D-back. Everybody, just about everybody up on the line of scrimmage. Again, the double tight end with a wing left. Here's Grogan waiting for the snap. Turns around, gives that ball. It's the first down. It's Don Super Sub Calhoun. Charging just over left guard. Kenny Hendricks finally made the stop on the play. But some fine blocking by the center in the left guard. Johnny Hanna, the center, Bill Lenkitis. So, what we're making with Pete Brock was in there. Pete Brock was in. He started to come out, and now he comes back in again. So Brock is going to be in at center for the Patriots. Now he goes out. That means Lenkitis is back in. And a first down for the Patriots, and their drive stays alive. And, of course, it's eating up the clock here. We're under the 4-minute mark, 3:55 showing.
And Jeff Phillips, number 35, has just come in to replace Andy Johnson, our offensive halfback for the Pats.
All right, a timeout's been called with a score. New England 7, Oakland 3. There's a timeout on the field. Now this.
Getting back to that Minnesota-Washington game, Fran Tarkenton, as I mentioned earlier, hitting 12 of 21 for 170 yards before leaving with a 35-6 lead. Billy Kilmer had his best day of the season as he had to put the ball in the air 49 times. He completed 26 of them for 298 yards, and he set an NFC playoff record for most pass attempts in the game, but he spent most of the day running from the Minnesota defense as he was sacked twice while throwing 2 interceptions. The Viking defense was devastating in the first half as it completely shut off the Washington running game, holding Mike Thomas to just 22 yards and John Riggins to a mere 1 in 4 carries. Bobby Bryan and Jeff Wright made the interceptions of Kilmer passes in the first half. All 3 of Minnesota touchdowns in the first half capped drives of 66 yards. The Vikings made it 28-7 with their first possession of the third quarter, and their final touchdown came on their only other possession of that period.
New England has out first down Oakland 11-3, although the Raiders, for the most part, put the Patriots in poor field position. Wide to the right is Stingley. First down and 10. They have reached the 36-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Clock winding down. The handoff to Calhoun. Can't go inside. Goes to the outside. Tries to outrun Atkinson. Cannot. Willie Hall is there to make the hit on the play. Calhoun started to make his move toward the line of scrimmage. Now, a little extracurricular activity out there between Calhoun and one of the Oakland Raiders, and it was Willie Hall. And quickly moving in was Steve Grogan, getting Calhoun back in the backfield. We need you. Can't afford to lose you here. A gain of about a yard on the play. They'll make it second down and about 9 yards to go for New England. Dan the Bam Cunningham comes back into the ballgame. And Don Calhoun comes out. Al Chandler goes out. They'd used the double tight end. That means that Francis is a lone tight end with Stingley going wide to the right. Vataha coming out to the near side. Second down, 9 to go for the Patriots. Stingley in motion toward the line of scrimmage. Grogan rolling to the right, has plenty of time, looking, throwing on the run, incomplete. Penalty marker on the play. The pass was intended for Darryl Stingley. Atkinson was covering nearest man to the intended receiver. But there is a penalty marker on the play. The penalty is against the New England Patriots. It's going to be an offensive interference penalty against New England. They had the ball, second down and 9 at the 35-yard line. Options now being explained. The captain, Willie Brown, and they'll walk it off against the Pats, and that'll bring the ball back to very close to midfield. It'll be right around the 40, let's call it 45-yard line. Offensive interference against New England. That'll set them back to the 45. So it'll be second down and about 19 yards to go for a first down.
They would like, that is New England would like, nothing better than to spring a little open pattern to Russ Francis again, Tony. If you recall, that big 50-yard gainer in the opening series or the second series is what got them their first score.
Sam the Bam Cunningham's in the backfield, along with Jess Phillips now for the Patriots. Stingley in motion to the far side of the field. Here's the fake handoff. Grogan looking back, has the time, fires the ball up over the middle. Pass is caught at the 30, a penalty marker on the play. Stingley is down, short of a first down at the 28-yard line. The hit made by Skip Thomas, but there was a penalty marker on the play, and I believe this one is going to be against the Oakland Raiders.
Well, Darryl Stingley made a tremendous leap in the air. Both feet cleared a couple of, I would say, 24 inches at least, where the soles of his feet were suspended in air to catch that football, and a great grab it was.
Option now being explained to quarterback Steve Grogan of the New England Patriots. The ball is down to the 28-yard line of Oakland. It's still short of a first down. If the play holds up there, it'll be third down and about 2 yards to go. Grogan taking plenty of time. He's getting 9 out of 14 passes, 123 yards.
That's against the Pats.
No, they're going to walk it off. I see. He's not going to take the play. He'll bring the ball up to about the 40-yard line, and it's going to be a first down.
Well, they traded it down for distance. 2:45 on the clock, and they have 2 timeouts left. Maybe the Patriots know what they're doing on it.
The ball at the 40-yard line of Oakland. It's first down. Well, they had third down and 2. So instead of third and 2 at the 28, they now have it first down at the Oakland 40-yard line. Stingley is wide left. We've got Briscoe, the magician, out to the right. Fake handoff. Grogan run the run. Rolling out 40 up to about the 40. Make that the 37-yard line where he's run out of bounds by Willie Hall and Phil Phillippe out of the left side linebacker and the right inside linebacker respectively. Again on the play, on the rollout right of about 4 yards. It'll be second down and 6. And, of course, that stops the clock. And that is wound down to 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. 15 plays so far in this drive. They started way back at the 11-yard line of the New England Patriots. They have now reached the 36 of the Oakland Raiders. New England out in front by a score of 7-3. All the scoring in the first quarter of this game. Second down, 6 to go. Grogan takes the handoff, gives it on the reverse to Russ Francis. The tight end is going to throw. Throws the ball downfield. Intercepted. At the 6, at the 10, at the 15, at the 20. It's Thomas. At the 24 out of bounds. Well, Tony, I would never second guess the call, but I think I'd almost have to that one. They had 2 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. Good field position. No reason to panic. Didn't have to come up with a trick play, but it turned over the ball. Well, Ross Francis' pass is intercepted. A 19-yard return by Skip Thomas. And now the Raiders are in business. And they've got 2:27 showing on the clock. They trail it here by a score of 7-3. The ball is at the 24-yard line of Oakland. And now Kenny Stabler and company will go to work. The Raiders come out in what amounts to a double wing formation. Branch is wide left. Lithikoff out to the right. They hand the ball off to Van Egan, and he hits right tackle. And he charges ahead from the 24 up towards the 30-yard line before right inside linebacker Steve Nelson makes the stop on the play. 6'2", 230, a 3-year man out of North Dakota State. George Beeler leading as the blocker on the play. The ball at the 30. It'll be second down and about 4 yards to go. Branch wide left, Lithikoff out to the right. Again, a double wing formation. But before they can get the play off, the 2-minute warning with a score. New England 7, Oakland 3, a timeout on the field. Now this.
If his assessment of this week's practice sessions is any indication, Baltimore Colts coach Ted Marchibroda should make reservations for the Super Bowl. Marchibroda said Saturday that we've had a championship week as far as practice goes. He said it's been the best in his 2 years at Baltimore. And he said we had more offense and more hitting and more fight in our practices. He said his AFC East champions are better prepared for Sunday's playoff game against Pittsburgh than they were in last year's 21-10 loss to the Steelers. Marchibroda also said the home field advantage should help this year. 3 players who joined Marchibroda at a news conference also were confident of victory Sunday. Quarterback Burt Jones saying that they were in the playoffs last year. He says we've got a realistic attitude this year that we're going to win. Marchibroda said the game will depend on whether the Colts can stop the Steelers' running game and force them to throw the ball. It's a classic matchup. The NFL's top defensive team, Pittsburgh, and the top offensive team, Baltimore.
Tom Pagner along with Tony Roberts, where we're watching a terrific battle just before the half closing. 2-minute warnings on.
Outstanding offensive and outstanding defensive players. Cliff Francis feature out of Colorado is wide to the left. Stabler back to throw. He's got Lithikoff right side. Ball is thrown to Casper, and Casper is in immediately. Dave Casper hit by linebacker Steve Zabel and knocked down right around the 35-yard line. So it'll be very close to a first down. We may have the call for a measurement here. Ball is spotted down just shy of the 35-yard line. Sticks come in from the far side of the field. Clarence Davis has come out of the backfield now for the Oakland Raiders. Kenny Stabler comes over to view the stretch of the chain. Put down the stretch, and what's it going to be? Is it a first down? Johnny Madden right there. They say it's short by about, maybe around a half a foot or so. So the horse is coming to the backfield now, and up into the line. Warren Bankston, the tight end. Also in there is Henry Lawrence, a 273-pound, 4-year veteran tackle out of Florida A&M. Third down conversion, 2 out of 5 for quarterback Kenny Stabler. Carl Garrett is in the backfield along with Pete Banaszak. Banaszak, 6 foot, 210 pounds, a 12-year veteran out of Miami, Florida. Third down, inches to go for the first down. Stabler on the turnaround to get the Banaszak off left tackle. He's got the first down. He barrels ahead, gets the ball up to about the 37-yard line, and it'll be a first down. A Julius Adams was on the play, and the man to get up from the bottom of the pile was Mike Haynes, the right quarterback, the rookie out of Arizona State. So it's the first down, and the Raiders have now reached the 38-yard line, their own 38. A minute, 10 seconds left to go. Stabler will have to put it up in the air. Double wing back to throw. The left-hander out of Alabama sails one to the sideline, almost intercepted. Diving for the ball was left corner Bob Howard on the play. The pass was intended for Cliff Branch. So that'll make it second down and 10 to go. Clock now stops with 1:05 showing.
The Pats, Tony, are playing it kind of coy. Of course, I would too at this juncture with 1:05 showing, because they're giving what amounts to single coverage on Cliff Branch, but after the snap of the ball, there's backup help behind the corner man. In other words, Bob Howard's taking him right off, but backing him up is Tim Fox, so they get double coverage.
Stabler 4 out of 11, back to throw. He's thrown for 48 yards, has the time. Fired to the sideline, is caught by Patriots, and he is out of bounds at the 49-yard line of the New England Patriots. Covering on the play was the left linebacker, Steve Zabel. But Paletnikov, like a magician, always manages to work himself open. Took the ball, stepped out of bounds, stopped the clock, got the first down, 59 seconds left to play.
His claim, Paletnikov, is that the pattern that he runs the best is to come back towards the passer, and that's an art. It's a very difficult thing to do, to put all your speed going in one direction and then cut at a tight angle back towards the passer, but he's a master at it.
Paletnikov wide right, Branch out to the left, first down at the 49. Long downfield pass, intended for the tight end. It is incomplete. Morris Bradshaw was the intended receiver. Bob Howard covering on the play. So Stabler's pass is incomplete. They used up 6 seconds on that play. It'll be second down and 10 to go at the New England 49-yard line. 53 seconds left to play in the first half. And coming in now, Dave Tipton, a big tackle. A nose tackle coming in. That means they're going to pull linebacker Sam Hunt.
And Pete Vanacek came in for Mark Van Egan. Boy, there's an old-timer, not so much in years, but in play. He's been around the league many, many times.
Again, the double wing formation. And again, Stabler back to throw. Has protection. Looks, fires the ball up over the middle. Casper's got it up to 35. And he is hit, gets down to the 31-yard line. He was hit by 3 of the Patriots on the play, but Dave Casper made the grab. He made 53 catches so far this year. Pete Barnes was there. Steve Nelson was there to make the stop. But it's another first down for the Raiders, and they are moving forward with 45 seconds left to play in the first half. A 17-yard pass play from Stabler to the tight end, Casper. And we said that Casper had more catches than any tight end in the league this year. So he was the number 4 receiver in the American Football Conference coming into this game. He caught 53 passes. He had scored a total of 10 touchdowns. Cliff Branch was rated number 11, and Paletnikov number 14, and that is quite a trio of pass receivers. They've got 3 right up there in the top 14. Casper, Branch, and Paletnikov.
Well, the amazing thing about him, we call him Casper the Ghost. The amazing thing about him is he can run. He's trimmed down to about 228 for us at Notre Dame. He played an offensive tackle. He probably could have played offensive center or guard for that matter. We moved him to tight end his senior year. He's got incredible hands and good instincts. The amazing thing to me, Tony, is that Cliff Branch, who flanks him on most of the plays, runs a 9-2. I can't spell 9-2. There can't be 4 people across the nation that can run a 9-200. So when you have the skills of a big tight end that can block, make the running game go, also get open and get a good foot race going with a linebacker, and Cliff Branch to scare the heck out of you along the sideline, there are a lot of tools for Kenny Stabler.
Kyle Garrett's in the backfield. Morris Bradshaw comes out. Wide right for Paletnikov. Branch in the slot to the right side. Casper, the tight end, is left. Back to throw. Stabler looking. Penalty marker on the play. Going for Paletnikov. And again a penalty marker on the play. The route, I believe. Wait a minute now. Did he catch the ball? Apparently he did catch the ball. It looks like it was incomplete. There are 2 penalty markers. One back at about the 30-yard line. Another down at the goal line. Who's the call going to be against? It's going to be pushing. It's going to be interference. Decline. A pushing call against the New England Patriots. touchdown catch by Biletnikoff. And the Oakland Raiders have gone ahead for the very first time in this game.
Well, Bob Howard, the cornerback for the New England defense, chucked him. You can only chuck a man as long as he's in front of you within the first 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. Once he gets alongside of you or beyond that 3 points, you can no longer lay a hand on him. And apparently that's what they called later, towards the end of the run into the end zone. There was a pushing match again, and we didn't know which way that was going to be called, but obviously it went in favor of the Oakland Raiders.
So the Raiders on a pass, a touchdown pass from Kenny Stabler to Fred Biletnikoff. Stabler's 28th touchdown strike of the year puts them out in front by a score of 9-7. 9 plays, 76 yards. And Errol Mann will try with a point after. David Hum, the ex-Nebraska quarterback, will hold. Spotted down, kick is up there, and it is good. So we've got 39 seconds to go. And for the first time this afternoon, the Raiders are out in front of New England by a score of 10-7. And it all started with that intercepted pass by Alonzo Skip Thomas. A pass thrown by Russ Francis.
Freddie Biletnikoff, Tony, proves his mettle year in and year out. He's a many-time veteran, but he's savvy, I think is the word they use in the ring, in the boxing ring. He knows the ropes. He's been around. He can bounce. He can roll. He can feint. He can fake. But that time he made a super catch based upon great concentration and a running battle with Bobby Howard, the cornerback. So Stabler moving that team in just a little less than 2 minutes down the length of the field from where they took it over on the turnover is marvelous. And that's the kind of thing that they have to do to continue to lead and win this game if indeed they're going to get beyond their normal playoff position.
Well, the score for the Oakland Raiders obviously comes at a great time because there are only 39 seconds remaining. And, of course, that's the one thing you want to do. You'd like to go into the halftime, into the locker room at halftime with a little bit of impetus. We'll have Dick Kahn and Jess Phillips. Jess Phillips is a deep man, staying at about the 1-yard line as Ray Guy is ready to kick off here for the Oakland Raiders. Joe Playhack is on the far side of the field. Here's a run-up now. It's up in the air, coming down towards Phillips. He'll take it at about the 5-yard line. At the 10. Tries to come to the outside, cuts back a little bit at the 15, the 20, the 25, and is down at about the 27-yard line. So a 22-yard return. And the Patriots will put the ball in play for the first time in this game. Outside, we'll make that the second. Well, no, it is the first time in this game. Outside their 20-yard line as Herb McNabb made the stop on the play. But at first and 10 for New England at their own 27-yard line. They trail here by a score of 10-7.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Steve Grogan will do with the 33 seconds on the clock, whether or not he'll hold tight to it or gamble with it.
We've got Badah coming wide left. Here's Grogan just falling down. They just want to run out the clock. There will not be another play here unless the Raiders call a timeout. Grogan took the snap but immediately fell to the turf.
There is some psychology involved in that, too. Many people wonder, why don't you go for the bomb and all, but there are so many things that can backfire on you with that kind of clock time.
Well, it's winding down to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is, the end of the first half of the score. The Oakland Raiders 10 and the New England Patriots 7. The Raiders have won 10 in a row since that loss. The New England Patriots have won their last 6. And so they're ready to kick now. John Smith, 6 foot, 185-pound, 3-year veteran.
Today's episode is brought to you by thisdayinthennfl.com. Celebrating football's greatest moments, one day at a time. Listen to classic broadcasts, explore historic games, and keep the legacy of the NFL alive at thisdayinthennfl.com.
Out of Southampton, England, the left-footed soccer kicker gets it off, but sails toward the far side. Garrett looking for the ball, gets it at the 4, the 5, the 10, the 15, the 20, 25 at the 30-yard line. He is hit and knocked down at the 30. He ran right into New England's Richard Bishop, the nose tackle, and bounced off of him and fell back. He'll get forward progress up to the 30-yard line, a 26-yard return. 30-yard line. They lead it by a score of 10-7. Paletnikov has scored a touchdown on a 31-yard pass. Is wide right, Branch off to the left. The handoff to Van Egan, tries left tackle, goes to the weak side, and fights his way from the 30 all the way up to about the 34-yard line before being stopped on the play. The hit made by the linebacker on the play. Sam Hunt, Pete Barnes, the left inside and right outside linebackers. Pete Barnes is 6'1", 240 pounds, a 9-year veteran from Southern. A gain of, about 3 yards, make it second down, and about 7 yards to go for the first down. Back to throw, Paletnikov going to the near sideline, taken by Paletnikov, a pass from Stabler, and he's hustled out of bounds, right around the 47-yard line. The spot is down at the 48. Bob Howard knocked him out of bounds on the play, but it's another first down for the Raiders.
Kenny Stabler had 4 receivers, 2 to both sides that time with a little inside run action fake to their fullback. And again, that great timing of Paletnikov and Stabler. It was a comeback pattern on the sideline that just eked out the first down.
Just this week, Paletnikov signed a 2-year contract with the Raiders for over $200,000 per. Handoff goes to Clarence Davis. He's upended by Ray Hamilton, the nose tackle, on the play. Paletnikov this afternoon, 4 catches, 81 yards, including that 31-yarder that went for a score.
Well, Mr. Sullivan, the president of the New England Pats, came in here at halftime, Tony, of course, and was so high on his young ball club. He mentioned the fact that they had played excellent football in the second half of games, and he really said he wasn't a betting man, but if he had to, he'd bet on them.
It'll be second down. And about 9 yards to go for the first down, and now there's a time going to be called here for a moment. They want to change footballs. It was not done. Fred Paletnikov is wide right. Now to the left, you got the speedster Cliff Branch. The backfield, Mark Van Egan, who gained over 1,000 yards, and also Clarence Davis. Dave Casper, the tight end, is on the left side. Here's the snap back. Stabler back to throw. Looking for Paletnikov. Fires the ball up over the middle. The ball is crossed. It is caught by Cliff Branch, who came up over the middle, and is hauled down by Mike Haynes at the 45-yard line.
Well, Mike Haynes came all the way from his corner position all the way in with Branch, but that left Casper, who was starting at the left tight end position, in coverage against the linebacker, number 59, Pete Barnes, for the Pats, and I think that that's the kind of situation they'd like to get zeroed in on.
That'll make it third down and about 2.5 yards to go for the first down at the 45 of New England. The Raiders, for the most part, were kept in check. Double tight end handoff, left side, Van Egan, and Van Egan inside the 45, down to about the 43, and it looks like it's going to be a first down for the Raiders. Big crowd up there. Nope, apparently not, because signaling toward the bench was Mel Lunsford. He said they didn't make it fourth down. Sam Hunt made the hit on the play. And now Oakland will go for the ball as Pete Matasak comes in. Van Egan comes out. Branch is out. So is Paletnikov. They'll go with a double tight end. Matasak is in the backfield. He's a power runner. 210-pounder in his 12th season out of Miami of Florida. Fourth down, inches to go for the first down. Stabler waiting for the snap. Almost an offside by the Patriots. Long count by Stabler. Still calling the signal. Still calling the signal. And now he's called for a timeout. I'll tell you what, penalty marker was dropped backfield at the 27-yard line, and they may have run out of time. There's a timeout with a score. Oakland 10, New England 7. Now this.
In college basketball action Saturday, Michigan asserted its #1 ranking by blasting Kent State 102-66, and even Wolverines coach Johnny Orr's becoming a believer. He said, "We never say anything about #1, but I think we're starting to play a little like it." The Wolverines look more than a little like #1 as they combine their awesome fast break with a smothering defense and strong performance from the bench to rout a halftime score up to 52-31. Senior guard Ricky Green was the beneficiary of many of Michigan's easy baskets as he hit for 20 points in the first half alone, many on layups and dunks off steals and the fast break. Green had only 5 more points in the second half when Orr went to his bench early and often, but the Wolverines still extended their lead as much as 40 points on a stunning performance by reserve forward Joel Thompson. Thompson had a career-high 19 points, hitting all 8 of his field goal attempts and all 3 of his free throws.
Well, there was no timeout, and a 49-yard punt was off by a Ray guy. The ball is going to be put in play 1st and 10 by New England. Well, now some days you can't win because they've just called a timeout. I guess we'll keep it right here. Stabler had signal for the timeout, but apparently time had run out on that 30-second clock when he did not get the ball in play. So that preceded his call for the timeout, which was not given to the Oakland Raiders. And now a timeout has been charged to both ball clubs. So we've got the ball 1st down and 10. At the 20-yard line, the New England Patriots will put it in play. They're trailing here by a score of 10-7, and for the most part, the Oakland Raiders have kept the Patriots at bay because they've had good field position for most of this football game. 10 straight victories by the Raiders since they lost 48-17 to New England. 6 in a row for New England to finish the season off. And in playoff games, Oakland has won 6 and dropped 7 in the history of the franchise. New England is 1-1. And Tom and Oddity, and just to show you how important that home field advantage is, since the 2 leagues merged and they've had the Super Bowl, 10 Super Bowls going on number 11 now in Pasadena, California, there have been 37 playoff games, including the game between the Redskins and the Vikings. And in case you didn't hear, the Vikings won it easy, 35-20. There have been 37 playoff games. 27 of those 37 times, the home team has won. Tells you a little something. 1st and 10 for New England. Bataha is wide left. Now going to the right side is Wes Francis at tight end. Grogan, the quarterback, is going all the way. Turn around to give. A hit off the right side to about the 22 or 23-yard line. Monty Johnson makes the stop on the play. The ball carrier was Sam the Bam Cunningham.
Well, even though the Pats have moved the ball a little bit on the ground, when I say a little bit, really it hasn't been a tremendous ground game. They have rushed for 67 yards the first half. Their best plays seem to be on the sweep, the power sweep, where they get those 2 big guards out in front of, and the I backfield, where they isolate blocking Sam Cunningham and running Johnson.
And they're in the eye right now. Cunningham, the front man. Briscoe wide left. Here's a handoff to Johnson. Johnson hits up over the middle past the 25, fights his way up to about the 27-yard line before he's hit on the play by Otis Sistrunk. And also on the play, the last man to get up from the bottom of the pile was Willie Hall of the Raiders. So it's 3rd down and about 3 yards to go over the 1st down. The Patriots trailing here by a score of 10-7. They've got an outstanding offensive line. Bill Lincaitis, the center, Sam Adams and John Hanna, the guards, and the tackles, Bob McKay and Leon Gray. Bataha comes wide left. Stingley is out to the right side. Back to throw. Grogan looking, fires the ball, and is incomplete. Pass was intended for Randy Bataha. Incomplete pass, and the Patriots are forced to punt. Willie Brown was covering on the play. The pass was no target. It was lowered in the dirt.
And I think Grogan realized it when he threw it. He wasn't really quite set. His body was facing a little off to the right, and he had to kind of do a semi-twist to throw it left. Wasn't really set and shifted with his feet. There went the throw awry.
And back to boot now. We've got Mike Patrick, Neil Cozy, the lone safety for the Raiders, back at the 36-yard line. Mike Patrick, number 5 punter in the American Football Conference, averaging 40.1, gets off a sky bomb. It's deep, it drives Cozy back. It hits at the 24, continues to bounce. Covered well by the Patriots inside the 10 and down to about the 7-yard line. A tremendous punt, but there's a penalty marker back at the 41-yard line upfield. A penalty marker and a holding call against Oakland is going to give, well, let's see now, hold it. A holding call against the Oakland Raiders, and that should give the New England Patriots a 1st down. 65-yard punt into deep Bowman. Well, there's a break. Defensive holding, 5-yard walk-off, automatic 1st down, and the Patriots, who just punted the ball and put them back to the 7-yard line, will take it over at their own 31-32. Now they've got to capitalize because they had tremendous field position.
Tony, I don't know how many times I have seen what looks like a dead drive come to life as a result of a defensive penalty, and then suddenly the offense comes to life, and that could be a very big break for the Patriots, because to come out right after the half, get a drive stalled, not really be able to move the ball is kind of disheartening. But by the same token, they've just been breathed or have had a little breath of life. And I think if they get something going and make, say, a first down or two here, Oakland's in trouble.
Alonzo Skip Thomas was the man who was caught holding by the officials. Wide left. Here's Fatah. Slot to the left side. We've got Stingley. Russ Francis, the tight end. Here's the turnaround to give to Sam the Man. Cunningham finds the hole, veers off to the left, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, down to the 45-yard line. And hauled down from behind by George Atkinson. And Cunningham comes up with a shoulder injury, holding that right shoulder. He's been injured. That means that super sub Don Calhoun is coming in.
Sam really did a marvelous job of running the ball there because the play had been overrun by the defense. He curled it all the way back from the right side of the center to the left side and broke it clean.
He's being attended to on the sideline. Flat left hand off to Calhoun. He's not going anywhere. He was hit by the defensive left end, John Matuzak, before the play ever developed. Matuzak making the stop on the play, knifing in from the left side. And Calhoun doesn't go anywhere. Briscoe comes out. Fatai back in as a wide receiver for New England.
Now look across the front row of the defense for the Oakland Raiders. Just at their weights alone, 270, 271, 260, and 273. That's a pretty good, fair, sizable defensive line to run against.
Second down, 9 yards to go. Logan getting the snap. Back to throw, rolling to the left, looking. Pumps the ball up over the middle. Francis at the 32, at the 30. Hit by Skip Thomas and finally drilled down into the ground at the 25-yard line. Jack Tatum also made the stop on the play. Russ Francis going over to say something to Kenny Hendricks. But apparently it was a friendly remark. We're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is Mutual, the News and Sports Radio Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Francis now with 3 catches, good for 82 yards. And now we've got the ball down at the 25-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Patriots turn around, give. Sam the Bam is back in the backfield. Penalty marker on the play as he fights his way down to about the 25-yard line. The ref is going to be a holding call against the New England Patriots. This one made the stop, and it may... Penalties, 50 yards. That'll put the ball back to the 35-yard line where it's first and 20. Handoff, Cunningham. Trying to get away from Piano. Does. Cuts back and gets down to about the, let's go to the 33-yard line and no more. Floyd Rice, the linebacker, a 7-year veteran, 6'3", 225 out of Alcorn A&M. Makes the hit on the play. Gain of a couple. It'll be second down and 18 to go. Well, I'll tell you, two of the most boring plays in football anymore are the holding call and the clip.
And there's plenty of them to go around, apparently, because it's one of the toughest things to do is block offensively. It's just like tackling, only you're not allowed to use your arms.
The ball is at the 33 of the Oakland Raiders. New England trailing here by a score of 10-7. Out of the huddle they come. Briscoe, Stingley, slotted left. Throws it back to throw. Quick drop, quick pass. Briscoe's got it. Falls down, and his foot did slide out of bounds. Well, I'm going to say he's down at about the 26-yard line. Not enough yardage for the first down. They'll still have third down and about 11 yards to go. Skip Thomas made the hit on the play. Third and 11.
Well, he was throwing the low-risk play there. He had tripped 3 receivers to the left side, and I think he just wanted a chunk of yardage. Didn't want to give any risk involved because they don't want to lose the opportunity for a field goal attempt if indeed they don't pick up the first down with this 3rd and 11 situation.
Third down conversion, Grogan and the Patriots 5 for 10. Fatah wide left. Now Wes Francis goes in motion, tight end left side, moves in motion to the far side of the field. Back to throw. Grogan looks, fires. Bam! It's Francis, 20, 50, 10, 5, touchdown New England. Russ Francis, cutting back. In motion, tight end left side to the right side. Upfield, cut back across the middle, and Grogan throws one. Francis took it on the run and scores.
Tony, one of the real classy things I've seen is a guy like Randy Fatah, who is not a real big man, flanked out out wide to the left, went downfield, and screened his defensive back, working on him. Screened off Willie Brown for a long period of time, maybe 6-7 seconds there as Russ Francis started to run down. I guess it was Monty Jackson. That's a pretty big mismatch. Monty, 6'5", 240. So Randy Vataha screened him off, and that was a key block on that score.
And Monty Johnson is hurt. The 240-pound, 5-year linebacker out of Nebraska is on his back at the 20-yard line, and that would be quite a blow to the Raider defense. Johnson, a fine performer. One of the 4 linebackers, Filipiano, Willie Hall, and Teddy Hendricks being the others. So, an 80-yard drive. That took a total of 10 plays. On a pass from Grogan to Francis for the touchdown. And the New England Patriots are back on top by a score of 13-10. And for Grogan, that is the 19th touchdown pass of the year. Francis is not rated in the top 20 pass receivers.
All he did here today was set up that first score, Tony, and then make this on his own. And again, not to belabor the point, but all of that happened as a result of an Oakland Raider defensive mistake, which gave momentum and continuance to a drive that the Patriots had started.
Well, for Francis, his 4th touchdown. Monty Johnson is up, walking off the field under his own power. 11 out of 17 for Grogan, 159 yards, and 1 touchdown pass. Here's the kick by Smith. It's up, and it is good. So, there's a timeout on the field with a score. The New England Patriots 14, the Oakland Raiders 10 now, this word.
The Minnesota Vikings smashed the Washington Redskins 35-20 early this afternoon, and they've advanced to the NFC Championship, a game they have never lost in their 3 previous appearances. Brant Tarkenton tossed 3 TD passes, and Chuck Foreman scampered across the goal line for 2 additional Minnesota touchdowns. At halftime in the AFC playoff game, as you know, the Oakland Raiders were leading the Patriots 10-7, and they've now gone ahead on a Russ Francis 26-yard touchdown pass from Steve Grogan. Elsewhere in professional football, the Denver Broncos have announced that John Ralston has been asked to quit as general manager, but will remain as head coach of the Broncos. Veteran club official Fred Gerke will take over the GM duties. The doubles team of Adriano Panatta and Paolo Bertolucci gave Italy the 1976 Davis Cup Championship Saturday with a win over Chile. They defeated Jaime Fillo and Patricio Cornejo 3-6, 6-2, 9-7, 6-3.
Apparently the injury to Monty Johnson was to his right arm. He's being attended to now on the Oakland bench. 14-10, a 26-yard pass play. Grogan, the tight end, Russ Francis, and the Patriots, who led by a score of 7-0, are back on top by a score of 14-10. You begin, and Carl Garrett. And the kick by the left-footed Smith. Taken by Garrett at the 5, at the 10, at the 15. He's at the 20, at the 25, at the 30, 35, 40, 45. It's finally hauled down from behind at the 45-yard line. Tackle was made by Steve Burke, the number 2 tight end. A 41-yard return. And the Raiders are in good field position at the 46-yard line.
That's the second time Carl Garrett on kickoff returns has given them some working room. Now Staber can go to work. He can pass on any down. He's at midfield a little less than it, 4 yards short of the 50.
First down 10 for the Raiders, who are down 14-10. Staber back to throw. Looking for Biletnikoff. Incomplete. Pass was deflected by Big Sam Hunt. The linebacker had come over to help on the play. Preston McRae, or rather Prentice McRae, was covering for the New England Patriots. Hunt came over, moved in front of Biletnikoff, tipped the ball away. Second down and 10. The ball is at the 46-yard line.
Well, the one thing, Tony, they haven't done well, the Oakland Raiders, is move the ball on the ground. Stabler has hurt them throwing, but he has not moved the ball on the ground.
Biletnikoff is wide right, branch out to the left. Stabler back to throw, under pressure, is knocked down. Ran into one of his own blockers on the play. Julius Adams was forcing the play, and he ran into big tackle John Bella, the 6'4", 260-pound, 6-year man out of Southern Cal. I guess you got to call that one a sack, right? That's the second sack of the game, and both recorded by the New England Patriots.
Maybe we can coin a word there. I think it's kind of a ricochet, too. Tony McGee didn't get in on the sack, but he belted his man back far enough that he ran into Stabler, who eventually bowled himself over.
That's the 49th sack of the year for the Patriots. Oakland has 46. They don't have any this afternoon. Branch is wide left. Politnikov out to the right. Third down, 21. Stabler looking, going to the far side. And Jennifer Branch, it is incomplete. That ball sort of died out there because Branch had broken free at about the 35-yard line, but he never was able to get up to the ball. Dick Count and Mike Haynes applying double-team coverage on Cliff Branch, and that's going to make it fourth down. Still 21 yards to go. The ball is at the 35 of Oakland, and Ray Guy comes in to punt.
A little bit remarkable to me that Kenny Stabler, being the wizard that he is, would call 3 straight passes at midfield.
Guy averaging 41.6, the number 3 punter in the American Football Conference during the regular season. Gets the belt high snap and gets it off. It is a beauty. Back, all the way back to the 10 is Mike Haynes. Looking for a block. Spins away from one tackle. Avoids another, gets up to the 15-yard line, and is hit and knocked down right there at the 15-yard line. The hit made by Rodrigo Barnes. With a score, New England 14, Oakland 10. There's a timeout on the field. Now this one.
The U.S. doubles team of Stan Smith and Bob Lutz beat Mexico's Raul Ramirez and Emilio Montano 6-2, 6-3, and 6-4 to clinch an American victory in the North American Zone semifinals for next year's Davis Cup. Smith and Lutz, who first teamed together as teenagers, had not competed together on a regular basis since 1971, but found their old form Saturday in defeating the Mexicans. Joanne Washam and Chichi Rodriguez came from 2 shots back to tie for the lead in the $200,000 mixed team golf championship in Miami today. The end of the 3rd round of the first co-ed golf tourney in a decade. The Washam-Rodriguez team was tied with Sandra Post and Tom Watson at 12 under par, 204. College basketball action today. Top-ranked Michigan romped to a 102-66 win over Kent State. Ricky Green scored 25 points as the Wolverines took their 4th victory against no losses. Also in college basketball today, Louisville takes on Marquette. Utah takes on Kentucky.
Well, we had a penalty. It was an illegal man downfield against the Oakland Raiders. The walk-off put the ball back to the 30-yard line, and Ray Guy will punt again. Mike Haynes back at the 28-yard line. Low snap. Gets the ball up in the air. It's returnable. Angel taking it at the 32. Goes to the right, looking for a block. 30 back to the 29, the 30, the 35, 40 down the sideline. At the 45 and shoved out of bounds there at the 45-yard line.
And that edge has to go to the Patriots, Tony, because on the exchange they gained about 20 yards. They were going to start on their 20, and they're awful close to the 45 right now. 20, 25-yard gain.
38-yard punt, a 13-yard return. You'll begin shoved them out of bounds. So the New England Patriots have their best field position and a takeover of the afternoon. They're at their own 45-yard line. First down and 10. Bataha's wide left. Here's Grogan handing off to Andy Johnson over right tackle, and Andy slides up to about the 47, 48-yard line before being stopped on the play. Man getting up from the bottom of the pile was Monty Johnson, who made the stop. So that'll make it second down, and let's go on with about 7 yards to go for the first down. Johnson's in again at left side linebacker. Ward Rice is also in. He has replaced Willie Hall. Coming out to take Bataha, we've got Willie Brown. We've got Steve Burke to the spot to the left. The handoff goes to Sam DeBam, and he drives straight ahead. Past midfield. Gets the ball into Oakland territory. Is then shoved back to the New England 49-yard line. But he'll get forward progress. Down near close to around the 48-yard line, where it becomes third down and a short 3 to go. And again, it's the inside linebackers who make the stop on the play, Johnson and Rice respectively. Going out of the game is Burks along with Sam Cunningham. And that means that Andy Johnson stays in. And Don Calhoun now becomes the fullback as the Patriots, with third down and about 3 yards to go, shift out of the I formation. Now in a double wing. Back to throw as Grogan has the time, fires to the sideline, and it is incomplete. I have to question that play in that the receiver who turns out and looks back toward the line of scrimmage looks right into the sun. He comes out of the shade and looks right into the sun. Of course, the defensive back has the same problem but it would seem to me, Tom, that we would be more of a burden on the pass receiver.
I think that's a great observation. That's the old military maneuver. The master sergeant, he never puts them at parade rest or attention facing into the sun. That was a crucial third down, and he was looking into it.
The ball was filled incomplete. Neil Colsey, the deep safety. Lone man back at the 12-yard line. Mike Patrick back to boot. Fourth down, about 3 to go. The snap, the kick. It is another boomer by Patrick. It's high. It's deep. It hits at the goal line, goes into the end zone, and the Raiders will take it over 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line.
Well, thus far in this game, it's been a drive that goes to be a drive, and there's automatically some things happen that change the complexion. I think we've got one now.
Well, another penalty, and it's against the Oakland Raiders. The punt was a 48-yarder. And now there's going to be a walk-off against the Oakland Raiders. It'll bring the ball down to the 43-yard line. We're going to be taking a commercial break very shortly, so our station's down the line. Be ready. Offside, 5-yard penalty. First down now for the New England Patriots. Well, on the previous possession, they got a big break. Bataa comes wide left. That's the 8th penalty. 60 yards against the Raiders. Back to throw is Grogan. Looking, pump once, throws up over the middle. Nobody's there. Bataa pulled up short and closer to the football were Jack Tatum and Willie Brown.
Well, Villapiana did a great job over the tight end that time. He absolutely decked him, knocked him down, and there was no way that Russ Francis could go anywhere. And by the same token, the wide receiver left, but Taha slipped and fell, and so that ball was just thrown away. Tony, 2 crucial breaks, both of them at fault for the Oakland Raiders on a 3rd down situation and a 4th down situation. 3rd and less than 5, any kind of infraction against, of course, that's a cardinal sin.
All right, Briscoe wide left, singly in the spot to the left side. 2nd down and 10. The ball is up to 43 of Oakland. Grogan back to throw. Fires the ball out of the backfield. Johnson at the 45. At the 40, breaks one tackle. Is finally down by Monty Johnson at the 35-yard line. But there's a penalty marker on the play. I can't remember seeing as many yellow flags as I have this afternoon.
I really can't either. And it isn't sloppy play by a long shot. I think it's intense play where a guy holds a little too long or he, bumps where he shouldn't.
The Raiders a little over-aggressive. It's a personal foul against Oakland. And that's going to bring the ball up 15 yards from the 35 down to the 20. Now, Tom had mentioned that there were 2 crucial breaks. One occurred when New England was going to be forced to punt and did, and they got a penalty on Oakland, and New England kept its drive alive. They started at the 20. They went 80 yards for a touchdown, put them out in front 14-10. A personal foul called against the Raiders, and after New England had just punted a moment ago, an offside penalty gave New England a first down and keeps their drive alive, and now a personal foul call brings the ball down to the 20-yard line. So the Raiders right now are penalizing themselves into a hole. 1st and 10, Grogan handoff, Calhoun over the middle, 20, 15, 13-yard line. Don Calhoun, they call him the super sub. Willie Hall's back in there, makes the stop on the play, along with Bill Villapiano. But a good pickup of about 7 yards on the play. That'll make it 2nd down and 3, and some fine blocking by center Bill Lencatis and offensive left guard John Hanna.
I think if you wait playing time this 3rd quarter, there's only 3 minutes and 20-some seconds left. Playing time, the defense for the Oakland Raiders has been on that field about 3/4 of the time.
Flat left handoff, Calhoun hits the middle, fighting for the first down yardage, does not reach the 10-yard line. Is shoved back to about the 12. It'll be short, I believe, of being a first down by inches, and that'll make it 3rd down and short. Now, the Raiders must win this afternoon if they're going to play the AFC Championship game here next week. Tomorrow afternoon, Tom and I will be at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore for the game between the Baltimore Colts and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They put the double tight end in again. Al Chandler is in with Russ Francis as a short down situation, short yardage.
Charles Billiard, 270-pound rookie, comes in. As Oakland beats up its line, here's the seek by Grogan, and I believe he's got the first down.
quite an offensive line, Tony. When you look at the way they hit out, you can see in unity all of the white shirts for the Patriots. Leon Gray, John Hanna, Sam Adams, and Bob McKay, along with center Bob Lenkaitis.
Well, it's got to be one of the best offensive lines in the game, if not the best. They talk about the St. Louis Cardinals offensive line. This New England Patriots offensive line is superb. First down on the quarterback sneak by Grogan. Wide right goes Stingley. Out to the left for Taha. The backfield of Calhoun and Jess Phillips now. Stingley in motion toward the line of scrimmage. Hand off to Phillips. Cuts in 10. Down to the 5. Fights to the 3. Down to the 2-yard line. Very nice move by Jess Phillips, who started out wide. Cut in very sharply against the grain. Got it inside the 5 and down to about the 2.
Well, Jeff Phillips made that first fellow miss because if he didn't, it had been a negative yardage play, and I remember him so well, Tony. He was a great defensive back for the University of Michigan State. He played on their great championship team in 1965, fought us to a dual 10-10 in 1966, became a running back for the Cincinnati Bengals and has had a long career, but he is still a fine athlete.
Second down, goal to go. The ball at the 2.5-yard line. Grogan has his Patriots lined up. Everybody tight. Phillips banging in. He's got the touchdown. Right off the right side. Lenkaitis, Sam Adams, and Bob McKay. They open the hole, and Jess Phillips goes in from 3 yards out. And the Patriots are out in front by a score of 20-10.
That was a drive that took 11 plays, and it covered 55 yards. It was ignited by an Oakland Raider third and short situation, third and less than 5, where they jumped offside, made it an automatic first down, and of course the Patriots pulling together on the running game, 11 plays, 55 yards for the score.
All right, here's the point after attempt by Johnny Smith down, kicked up, and it is good. So there's a timeout. Now the score is New England 21, Oakland 10. Our stations need another 60 seconds. We'll be back right after this.
Taking a further look at college basketball action Saturday, Michigan defeated Kent State by the score of 102-66. The Wolverines, the #1 ranked team in the nation on both UPI and Associated Press. Some other college scores just in. Ohio Dominion defeated Dyke by the score 77-65. It was Slippery Rock 78, Alliance 75. Rhode Island 87, Hofstra 86 in overtime. Lake Superior 74, Wayne State 73. Other top 20 teams involved in action today. Marquette takes on Louisville, Kentucky against Utah, Florida State and San Francisco. They're playing for the championship in the Cable Car Classic. Cincinnati, #9 of the nation, taking on St. Louis. #7 Alabama against Virginia Tech. They're going for the championship game in the Dayton Classic in Dayton, Ohio. Arizona takes on Detroit. Arizona rated #8. #10 UCLA against Tulsa.
All right, here's the kick by Smith. Jarrett at the 5, the 10, the 15, up to the 7, at the 20, the 25, the 30-yard line. He is hit and thrown down. Right there at the 30-yard line. The stop was made by Willie Germany. So it'll be first down and 10. A 25-yard return.
There's a couple of philosophies that loom big here right now. Stabler can strike quickly with the great receivers and the great arm, but the Pats will nurse this 10-point lead. They're going to play a little safe, conservative pass defense. I think we're going to see a change-up of coverage.
All right, first down and 10. The handoff. Stabler handing off. Going off the left side is Mark Van Egan. He gets a couple of yards. Up to about the 32-yard line. Gain of 2. It'll be second down and 8. Heath Barnes, the right side linebacker, makes the hit on the play. Clock winding down. 55 seconds remain. But we're on the verge of an upset here. 21-10, New England out in front of Oakland. If you talk to the Patriots followers, they'd say upset, bah humbug. No way. This is a good football team. They beat them in Foxborough. They can beat them in Oakland. Stabler back to throw. Looking, throwing to the sideline. Baletnikoff makes the grab. Great play by Baletnikoff, who got away from linebacker Steve Zabel, and then was finally hauled down by Sam Hunt. And what a job he did of maneuvering to get the football.
Tony, a lot of people probably asking, well, what's Zabel, the linebacker, doing covering Baletnikoff? And the reason was they were in a zone underneath and playing man coverage only with a single free safety. That's the best most conservative defense you can be in, except it's a man mismatch.
5 catches, 98 yards. Hand off to Van Egan. Barrels ahead. Gets the ball into territory of the New England Patriots. And it finally hits down at about the 46-yard line. The end of the third quarter with a score. New England 21, Oakland 10. Now this...
The 101-pounder on the White Swan Washington High School wrestling team has a history of rough stuff with the boys, but everyone still was astonished when 16-year-old Susanna Bob made the once all-male school team. She says that when she was little, she was always beating up on the boys. She says she used to play football with them, and though they didn't like it, the teacher said it was okay. And few allowances have been made for the girl wrestler. She dresses in the girls' locker room and weighs in on the home team scales. Last year, White Swan principal Gerald Tilton told the 4'9", 97-pound lass that she could not compete on the team because there was too much body contact. Susanna says she felt bad, but she says everyone told her it was all right because she didn't just make too many guys feel bad. However, there was no stopping her this season, and Coach Lon Henry agreed to let her try out. He says she works just as hard as anybody, and she can lift weights, do push-ups, and everything right along with the guys. Henry says Susanna is not bad for a first-year wrestler, but he says she'll get her lumps this year.
Tom Pagnell and I will be at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore to bring the game between the Baltimore Colts and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lindsey Nelson and Pat Sheridan down at Texas Stadium and down at Texas for the game between the Los Angeles Rams and the Dallas Cowboys. On Monday night, it's the Liberty Bowl over most of these mutual stations. It'll be Alabama against UCLA. That game from Memphis, Tennessee. Then 1 week from tomorrow, the American Football Conference Championship game. Where will it be? Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Oakland. It cannot be in New England because they are the wild card team. Fourth quarter about to get underway. Handoff. Diving straight ahead is Van Egan. And Van Egan gets the ball down to about the 44-yard line. Tripped up by Steve Nelson on the play. Ball will be put down right around the 43. And it now becomes third down and short, about 2.5 yards to go for the first down. And all of a sudden the Raiders are keeping it on the ground.
That's true because he saw the change in the defense. The Patriots went to a true free safety, which incorporates one of the linebackers in a pass coverage, and it's a good defense. You have to attack running.
Well, that's Croft and Blanche slotted left. Back to throw. Stabler looking on third down. Ball is caught by Van Egan coming out of the backfield. He's hit by Sam Hunt, but he's got the first down. First down at the 35-yard line of the Patriots.
Kenny Stabler is an accurate thrower. For a left-hander, he's one of the few left-hand quarterbacks in the NFL. He can put the ball on the money, and the short throw is really his best suit. But he's got the threat of the deep Cliff Branch and Bolitnikov to keep you honest.
First down at the New England 35. Oakland trailing 21-10. Stabler back to throw. Looking, going to the sideline. Penalty marker on the play. Bolitnikov made the grab at the 24-yard line. Mike Haynes was covering, but there was a penalty marker thrown down at the 26-yard line.
They're having a little confab down there. The number 90 official, I can't get the name on him, is instructing the head official. I think it's going to be against the Patriots.
Holding call against New England. And right now there's some talk with the official. Fox was out there. Might have been a grab by Prentice McQuay on Cliff Branch. Had nothing to do with Bolitnikov, who caught the pass. Was on the other side of the field, so that'll bring the ball down to the 24-yard line. And it's going to be a first down for the Oakland Raiders at the 24-yard line.
If I had to spot a weakness, and really it isn't because they're a great linebacking core, but the New England Patriots linebacking core is a lot better against the run than they are the pass. They don't seem quite as mobile. When I look at them, they're pretty good size fellas. That linebacker crew hasn't really covered the short stuff.
Raiders got more on the pass, so they declined the penalty. Handoff. Carl Garrett barrels ahead, gets down to the 25, 20, makes up the 20-yard line before being stopped on the play by Mel Lunsford. So it'll be a pickup on the play of about 5. It'll make a second down and 5 yards to go. The ball just inside the 20-yard line of the New England Patriots. And now Cody McGee comes in replacing Lunsford. McGee is 6'4", 245 pounds, the defensive end from Bishop. Second down, 5 to go. Branch and Bolitnikoff, slotted left. Here's Stabler back to throw, looking, fires near side. Bolitnikoff at the 10. Bolitnikoff trying to cut back, cannot, and he is down at the 10-yard line. Tony Harris in the pass in his zone. The lightest linebacker they have in the 4 weighs 235 pounds. Everybody else is over that. They got back to the zone, but Freddie Bolitnikoff is a little too tough to handle with his agility and amazing dexterity. He ran an out pattern, came back towards the passer, caught the ball, did a hop, skip, and a jump, and had he not fallen, probably would have gained a few more yards. Length of the football inside the 10. It's first down and goal to go for the Raiders. We're in the fourth quarter. Cody Robertson, Tom Pagna. Kenny Stabler with the ball. Back to throw. Being left, being chased. Lift, puts the ball up in the air. Caught by Garrett. Garrett makes the grab at about the 7-yard line. Stabler under tremendous pressure that time. Being hassled here by Ray Hamilton, the nose guard, and also by Pete Barnes, the linebacker, who came in on the play. Threw the ball, and Garrett was the man who picked it out of the air and got it down to the 6. Second down and goal to go from there. Well, if you can throw the ball sitting on your pants, that's about what he did. Second down, goal to go. Slot to the right. Stabler, the quarterback, gives the ball to Banaszak. Bangs inside the 10. Fights his way, gets it down to about the 2-yard line. 1-yard line, but there's a penalty marker on the play. Banaszak gets the left side. Was it? Bounced off. Second effort. Got it down to about the 2. The ref is going to be against New England. Stabler and Fox made the hit. Well, Stabler, the snake, turned out to be the Fox. He gave him a little cadence change that time, and it caught the pass offside into the neutral zone. All right, Branch and Bolitnikoff will come out. They'll beef up the offensive line of the Oakland Raiders. The ball is at the 2-yard line. 6 penalties, 43 yards against New England. Options are being explained to Gene Upshaw, the offensive guard, captain of the Oakland Raiders, 6'5", 255-pound, 11-year veteran out of Texas A&I. That ball will be put down at just inside the 3-yard line. Offside is the call against New England. So that'll make it second down and goal to go just inside the 3-yard line. And so many times on the field, during a short yardage situation, they love to give that ball to Banaszak because he is a blood and guts kind of runner. Well, the Raiders have moved the ball 67 yards upfield. Practically an 11-man line here for New England. Stabler turns around. Banaszak barrels straight ahead. Gets it down to about the 2-yard line. The moment he looked like he might make it, then all the gaps closed on the play. Ray Hamilton, the nose tackle. Operating Steve Nelson, the linebacker, coming up. We're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is Mutual, your News and Sports Radio Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Banaszak comes down and Van Egan is in. Third down conversions this afternoon. Oakland 2 for 7. Stabler wants it quiet. Third down, goal to go. Turn around, Jim, touchdown! Van Egan got the call. He went over the left guard for the score. Tony, I think you've really got to credit George Fielder, the right guard, John Bello, the right tackle for the Oakland Raider offensive line. They fired off the line. Absolutely a beautiful start out of the stance and got movement, which is really what offensive line play is all about. Try to get a distortion, a bubble, and they did indeed. And that gave the back that chance to get a little momentum and get over that final stripe. So Van Egan from 2 yards out goes in for the score. It's now 21-16. His fourth touchdown of the year. Spotted down. The kick is up by man, and it is good. There's a timeout on the field with a score. New England 21, Oakland 17. Now this word.
Brigham Young and Oklahoma State matched their differing offensive philosophies in the Tangerine Bowl Saturday night. It's the second bowl meeting in 3 years for the two college football teams. Wichita State's athletic board has voted to retain Jim Wright as head football coach for the remaining year of his 4-year contract. Marquette basketball coach Al McGuire says he'll retire at the end of this season. Austria's Franz Klammer scored his second downhill skiing victory in 2 days Saturday. In so doing, he took the lead in the World Cup standings from Phil Maher of White Pass, Washington. Manny Briscoe and Willie Warren meet in the middleweight bout Monday in Nice, France. The winners will meet Argentina's Carlos Monzon next April for the world title. College football action can be heard on many of these AFRTS affiliate stations. The Brigham Young Oklahoma State game, Tangerine Bowl at Orlando, Florida.
With 11:03 in the fourth quarter to play, the New England Pats are just leading by 4 points, 21-17, as the Raiders have just scored a touchdown by Mark Van Egan from the 1-yard line. Tony, we're going to look at a real football game. That 4 points is up for grabs. It doesn't mean a thing.
Phillips at the 1-yard line. Guy with a kick. It comes down high. It's deep. 2 yards in the end zone. Phillips has it. Cuts to the left at the 5, at the 10. Tries to cut back against the grain. Is knocked down at about the 13-yard line.
The Raider fans incensed now, or at least a sense of victory, because shutting the Patriots off inside their 15-yard line is not a bad place to start to work.
First down and 10 for New England. A 13-yard return. And now the Patriots, leading by 4 with 10:54 to go in the ball game, will put it in play. The quarterback is Steve Gogan, 6'4", 200 pounds, in his second year in the pros, out of Kansas State. A remarkable young man. Then Stingley wide to the right, out to the left, Randy Vadaha. Now Stingley in motion toward the line of scrimmage. Turn around, give Andy Johnson, spinning, fighting, past the 15, up to the 17 or the 18-yard line. Monty Johnson was there. Teddy Hendricks was there. And the last man to get up from the bottom of the pile was the nose tackle, David Rowe. A gain of about 4. Second down and 6. And the 54,037 capacity crowd here at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. Chanting, defense, defense. They want the Raiders offense to get the ball back. Slot left, Vadaha and Stingley. Logan waiting for the snap, gets it. Sam the man's got it. Off the tackle, 20, 25, 30-yard line, and a first down. Sam the man Cunningham. Hitting it, running hard, getting the first down yardage. Gets the ball up to the third 25-yard line. A first down for New England.
And the Oakland Raiders are a difficult team to run against. The New England Patriots ground game has been the secret to their success, complemented by the great Steve Grogan leadership, but running the football is the name of the game.
Cunningham, 16 carries, 56 yards. Double receivers left. Here's the handoff to Cunningham again, and he fights up to about the 27 to shove back to the 25. Johnny Batuzak and Phil Villapiano matting the left side make the hits on the play. It'll be second down. Oh, and about, let's call it 8 yards along, needed that to go for the first down. That front three, Matuzak, David Rowe, and Otis Sistrunk. The linebackers, Phil Villapiano, Monty Johnson, Willie Hall, and Teddy Hendricks. The deep men, Alonzo Thomas, George Atkinson, Jack Tatum, and Willie Brown. That's the defense for the Oakland Raiders. Grogan gives the ball to Jess Phillips, 25, at the 30-yard line. He picked up about 3 on the play as he slid to the right. Teddy Hendricks making the stop on the play for the Oakland Raiders. That'll make it third down. Third down and about 5 yards to go.
One of the things that they do really well, the New England Patriots, is to form that sweep. They get both of the guards, John Hanna and Sam Adams, pulling out in front of it. A lead block of usually Calhoun or Cunningham, and the ball handled by Phillips that time. That's a tough play to turn in.
Stingley comes down, and Steve Burke is in the game for New England with third down and 5. Grogan on the draw. Sam the man. Looks like they might get the first down yardage. He's hit and knocked down at the 33-yard line. Looks like he was on the way, but David Rowe made the hit along with Villapiano. So they fall short by about 2 yards, and that's going to force the punt. The Patriots came into the game with a number 4 offense in the American Football Conference, number 2 rushing, and 11th passing. Defensively, Oakland was ranked 8th, 6th against the rush, and 11th against the pass. Colsey is deep at the 26. Patrick has gotten off some great punts. 4th down, 2 to go. Gets the low snap. Gets the boot off. It's high. It'll send Colsey drifting back to about the 17. At the 20. The 25. Hit, and he's going to be stopped right there. We've got a penalty marker on the play.
done a job today because that ball is not only far, it's high, and it gives them time to get down under coverage. And they had a little momentum going when they shut off that Patriot offensive drive and forcing them to turn the ball over on a punt. If the ball is kicked poorly, that's just that much more incentive. But it wasn't. It was kicked well.
50-yard punt, a 10-yard return on the hang time. 5 seconds.
That's incredible.
Well, Patrick's gotten off some boomers. The wrap apparently is going to be against the Oakland Raiders. Johnny Madden now going up the sideline, complaining to the official about the call on the play. And the walk-off will put the ball inside the 15-yard line down to about the 13-yard line.
John Madsen's pointing that big index finger at the official, motioning him to come over and talk. Of course, Madden knows enough about football. They never come over and talk when you've got something to tell them.
10 penalties, a total of 88 yards. So we've got a timeout with a score. New England 21, Oakland 17. A timeout in the field. Now this one.
Northern Michigan football coach Gil Kruger has been named NCAA Division II Coach of the Year. The selection came in a vote of ABC television sportscasters. Formal announcement of the honor will come during halftime, the nationally televised Sugar Bowl game, New Year's Day. Kruger directed the Wildcats to an 11-2 overall record and a spot in the Division II semifinal playoff. Los Angeles coach Chuck Knox says it looks like rookie quarterback Pat Hayden will start tomorrow's football game against the Dallas Cowboys in the National Conference playoffs. Hayden suffered strained knee ligaments in the closing regular season game against Detroit, but he's been working out and throwing well in practice. The Detroit Tigers signed veteran designated hitter and outfielder Willie Horton to a one-year contract Saturday. The club also said it had signed rookie pitcher Fernando Arroyo. That leaves pitcher Vern Rule as the Tigers' only unsigned player. Let's return to today's game.
32 seconds left to play in the game. 21-17, New England on top. Raiders have the football. They're about to come out of the huddle. Well, they did come out of the huddle. They sent Branch Grubb and Bolitnikov out to the right. Now the ball will be put in play.
Well, Kenny Stabler had an opportunity while that time was called to get over and talk to Coach Madden about just their philosophy coming out of there.
Kenny Stabler, the snake from Alabama, back to throw. Looking, being pressured, rolling to the left, throwing the ball on the run. Pass is deflected and is incomplete. Intended for Clarence Davis, who came out of the backfield. Incomplete pass. Sam Hunt was nearest to it. The ball falls harmlessly to the turf. Second down and 10. We talked about the lineup for you tomorrow afternoon. The Steelers and Colts, followed by the Rams and the Cowboys. Monday night, the Liberty Bowl, Alabama, UCLA. Next week, the AFC Championship. Then the Gator Bowl, Penn State, Notre Dame. The Bluebonnet Bowl, Texas Tech, Nebraska. The Sugar Bowl, Georgia, Pittsburgh. The Orange Bowl, Ohio State, Colorado. All coming your way on most of these mutual stations. Handoff goes to Van Egan. He gets good yardage. Driving up the middle, past the 15 to the 20, almost to the 21-yard line. It'll be third down, and about 3 to go as he picks up 7. Dennis McRae came up from his strong safety spot to make the stop on the play. This afternoon, Kenny Stabler's put the ball in the air 25 times. Connected on 1,479 yards, 1 touchdown. Third down conversions this afternoon, Oakland 3 out of 10. Stabler back to throw. Looking, being rushed, falls down. He's going to be dropped back at the 9-yard line. Julius Adams from the right side. But the real pressure came from the left side by the blitzing linebacker, Steve Zabel. That will count as a sack, and that'll be the third this afternoon for New England.
That series, Tony, I saw as a very crucial series for the Raiders because there's 6:45 on the clock and the clock is running. They had to maintain some semblance of a drive. They've either got to play now or break on this kicking game portion of it or tough defense on the next drive for the Pats.
Well, the Pats were coming. That's the 50th sack of the year. Guy about 5 yards deep gets the boot, gets it off. It's a beauty. Haynes coming over to the far sideline. It's going to be tough to return. Cannot return it. And the ball goes out of bounds somewhere around the 49-yard line of the New England Patriots, and they'll put the ball in play. Ray Guy having to punt from 5 or 6 yards deep in his end zone.
If you had to make a calculation right now, I would say this. With a ball on the 48-yard line of the Oakland Raiders, the the Patriots have a 4-point lead. There's 6 minutes and 24 seconds on the clock. Then they would like nothing better than to maintain possession on the ground, low risk, grind out the yardage, get down into field goal range, get down into scoring range only along with the clock, and try not to give Stabler the chance to go on offense again. It can be done if they can move the ball on the ground.
Well, it's going to be first down and 10 for the New England Patriots, the ball in Oakland territory.
Matter of fact, Tony, it's very rarely that they've started there. They started drives, New England Patriots, on their own 16, 14, 18, 16, 11, 27, 20, 45, 14, and one time starting this time on the 49-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. They have moved the football today, and I think that's the difference. That and the fact thus far the lead, the differential in the score is probably due to the fact that the Oakland Raiders made those two key mistakes.
For a team that has not been in the playoffs, you have to say that the New England Patriots are a very poised football team.
Indeed they are. I think they played this game as though they really took to heart the fact that they thought they could win it.
They're out to prove that 48-17 lacing of the Raiders was no fluke. Hand off to Andy Johnson, 50, down to the 47-yard line. Maybe got about a yard, 2 yards at the very most on the play. Teddy Hendricks came up to make the stop along with Matuzak and George Atkinson for the Oakland Raiders. Well, Oakland's got to win. If they do win, they'll play the winner of tomorrow's game between Pittsburgh and Baltimore here 1 week from tomorrow. If not, well, the championship game could be played in Baltimore. Could be played in Pittsburgh. It will not be played in New England. They are the wild card team. The wild card team does not get home field advantage. Batar goes wide left and a slot to the left side. Steve Burks. Here's Grogan taking the handoff. Rolls to the right. 50, 45, breaks the tackle. 40. He may have the first down. Superb run by Grogan, who looked like he was stopped after breaking the tackle, but managed to move the ball down to about the 37-yard line, and a big first down for New England.
And that's a gutsy call on a smart one, really, because the defense is so souped up, they're just pursuing, and it was a misdirection play where the backs faked the sweep to the left, and Grogan faked that sweep and kept it himself really off tackle, and a great job of blocking by the tight end, Russ Francis, on his defensive end.
Grogan carried 7 times, 35 yards. Stingley and Batar wide left. Sam the band gets the call. He doesn't get anywhere. Tripped up right around the line of scrimmage. David Roll was penetrating in the backfield. The hit made by Matuzak and Willie Hall. Roll's been an outstanding performer here this afternoon, as all Penn State football players are. 6'7", 271 pounds, 11-year veteran from Penn State. Stingley comes out, and it looks like Burks is back in for the Patriots, who now have a 2nd and 8 situation, with Batar going wide left and Burks coming out to the right. But tight end Russ Francis is in on the right side. Grogan reaching under center. Bill Lenkitis has the ball, cutting him to the outside. 35, 30, outside, and he may have the first down yardage. Forced out by Willie Hall. It's going to be very close to a first down. Sam the Bam on the sweep to the left side may have enough yardage for the first down. It'll be very close one way or the other.
You know, the weak side linebacker, that is the linebacker playing to the split end side, must hate that play, and every pro football team there is, because that's the toughest thing to do, to play the linebacker to the split end side where you have that little dip sweep. You got to stand strong as a linebacker as the fake of the fullback comes in towards you, but by the same token of...
Now, New England will go to the double tight end. Al Chandler, a 229-pounder, a 3-year man, 6'3" out of Oklahoma. Charles Billiard will counter that. He's a 270-pounder, number 2 draft choice out of Texas Southern. He's 6'9" tall. He'll come in to beef up the Oakland defense. Boyd Rice is also in as Atkinson comes out, and so does Willie Brown. So now it'll be 3rd down and just inches to go. 3rd and inches to go. The ball is at the 27-yard line. The Patriots coming out of the huddle. Double tight end. The backs are Cunningham and Jeff Phillips. Here's Grogan sending Phillips in motion to the far side. Oh, the left side of New England went outside. That really hurt. Motion penalty against New England.
I thought for a moment, Tony, that we might get a call offsetting penalties, but it looks like right now they're just pointing to the pass, and that's a really crucial situation on a 3rd down, or rather, yes, on a 3rd and short.
They had 3rd down just a couple of inches to go for the first down. There was no doubt about it. The left side of the Patriots went offside before the ball was snapped back to Grogan. A big huddle up there now. There's going to be a 5-yard walk-off against New England. The penalty markers are put up the 29 and 31-yard line. Instead of third down in inches, it'll be third down now and about 5 yards to go for the first down.
Perhaps the biggest third down, both offensively and defensively, both of these teams have had all season. And I can't forget what Sistrunk, a quotable quote, he said, hey, our season starts today. All that other stuff doesn't mean a thing. He's right. This play is what it boils down to. Third down situation, 5 to go for the Patriots.
Third down, 5 to go at the 32-yard line of Oakland. Out to the right is Darrell Stingley. Wide left is Bataha. Phillips and Cunningham in the backfield. Rogan taking the handoff, rolling to the right, looking for time, throws the ball on the run. The pass is intended for Russ Francis, and it is incomplete. Francis claiming he was held on the play by Filipiano, who made contact before the ball was thrown. Rogan comes up to the official, and I've got to think they have a legitimate gripe.
Indeed they do, Tony, because, you know, the Russ Francis was held by his linebacker, number 41, and there's just no way that a crucial play like that can't be seen. It could very well be the difference on this complete game.
Well, look at it. He was hit once, came out, broke free, and then Filipiano had his hands on his jersey and around him. But the official did not call it, and that's going to make it fourth down, 5 to go, and we will have a field goal attempt here by Smith. It will be a 50-yard kick. The ball will be put down at the 40-yard line. The kick is up in the air. It's going to be no good. It's now short under the crossbar.
You know, theoretically, I'm not so sure that I wouldn't have gone for the first down because that 3 point only makes it a 7-point differential. They had to have a 7-point score against them anyhow to get beat because they're leading by 4 points. I'm not real sure about the odds and the risk involved there. But anyhow, it's not mine to do. It's theirs to do, and they've played the game and gotten this far. Right now, they've got to play some tough defense with 4-12 on the board. New England leading 21-17 over the Oakland Raiders.
And here's where Steeler becomes very, very dangerous. 21-17, New England, 4-12 left to go. But the Raiders take it over at the 32-yard line. Van Egan gets the call. It's the line. Maybe gets the yard on the play. It'll be second down and 9. Getting up from the bottom of the pile with Steve Nelson, the 3-year veteran out of North Dakota State, the man that's considered to be the best linebacker on the New England Patriots. Gain of 1 at the 33. Second down. 9 yards to go. Out to the right in the slot. Paletnikoff and French. Stabler looking, throwing. Pass is caught by Paletnikoff. He is immediately at the 39-yard line. And as Stabler set himself to throw, his left foot slipped out from under him. Threw the ball off balance, but got it right on the target.
Well, what's incredible, too, Tony, is the fact that that was a completion picked up about 6 or 7 yards, but the clock never did stop because it wasn't a first down. It wasn't out of bounds. About 20 seconds have jumped off the clock. That's 8 catches for Paletnikoff up to this point.
This time it's Paletnikoff and Blanche in the slot left. Third down, 2 yards to go. Stabler looking, throwing, pass caught by Branch at the 45. At the 47, he's got a first down. As Mike Hayes makes the tackle on the play, and the Raiders are on the move.
Paletnikoff used just a little slot maneuver. The slot, Cliff Branch and Paletnikoff did a little X pattern. And, of course, the guy coming from the inside out is Cliff Branch, and the ball was right on the money, just enough to pick up that first down. The defense got caught in the switch.
First down and 10 at the 48-yard line of Oakland. Paletnikoff wide right. Out to the left, we've got Branch. Penalty marker is going to be against Branch. Long the ball upfield, it's headed for Branch. It's Stabler. It's no good. Incomplete. Thrown too long. Stabler just lost the ball, but Branch is going to be called for a motion. Could have been illegal motion penalty against Cliff Branch of the Oakland Raiders. And the Patriots say we'll not give them another down. We will decline the penalty.
Again, you have to analyze the fact that there can't be but a half a dozen people in the world that can run a 9-200. Cliff Branch happens to be one of them. Very few of those 9-2 sprinters can possibly catch a football, but he's that deep threat. Most wide receivers, again, get in an inside hand-down stance so they can look in at the ball. When the ball moves, they move. In this instance, he got a little over-eager, and his forward motion was being called.
16 out of 28 for Stabler this afternoon, 195 yards. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. Second down and 10. The ball at the 48-yard line. Again, it's Paletnikov to the right. Branch out to the left. Stabler back to throw. Looking, throwing, passes, caught by Paletnikov. He's got the first down at the 40-yard line. Bob Howard made the hit, but not in time. When I look at the cornerbacks, Bob Howard and Mike Hayes, they're really giving a lot of cushion, about an 8 to 10-yard cushion from the wide receivers of Paletnikov and Branch. They're letting them catch the ball up front and then trying to be deadly sure when they come up to tackle, because the one thing you don't want to do is make a missed tackle. Well, with the score, New England 21, Oakland 17. There's a timeout on the field. Now this.
In a further look at college basketball action Saturday night, there are quite a few finals coming up, and consolations, of course, and holiday activity in basketball tournaments. In the Kentucky Invitational, Utah and host Kentucky, number 3 in the nation. They're going for the championship of the Kentucky Invitational. In the Volunteer Classic, St. John's of New York is going against Tennessee for their crown. In the Big Sun Tourney, the final pits Memphis State against Florida. In the Sun Bowl Classic, a final, University of Texas El Paso against Missouri. In the Birmingham Classic, the final will pit the cadets of the U.S. Military Academy, Army, against South Alabama. In the Dayton Classic final, it will be Alabama against Virginia Tech. In the Astro Bluebonnet Classic final, Houston against the University of California at Santa Barbara. In the Cable Car Classic, number 5 San Francisco, the Dons of the host team, will be going for their crown against Florida State. Toledo Invitational finds Toledo against Marshall.
Tony, we've watched a whale of a football game, and it's far from over. All on the clock if there's 2 minutes, but anything could happen. Kenny Stabler could unleash a bomb at any moment.
They've been going to Paletnikov for the key play. From time to time, they've gone to Branch. And, of course, you've got perhaps the best tight end in the business in Dave Casper, and, you know, he can score. How do you play a guy like Paletnikov who manages to get up no matter who's defending against him?
Well, one of the things they're doing, the Pats, and they have to do it, is they have to give him a cushion. He's just too good. He's too cute. He can make moves on you. This is a great raw speed, but it's that great ability to see what the defense is. If it's a zone, he'll comb into the seams of the zone. If it's man-to-man, he's got you like a tiger because that's his meat.
All right, they've got Bradshaw in along with Paletnikov on the near side. Van Egan's out of the backfield. Stabler from the 50, throwing the ball. Caught by Casper. He is hit, knocked down at about the 19-yard line. Well, that's the guy we were talking about a moment ago.
Right. Stabler deployed the flanker back to the tight end side right. The flanker back took off. Dave Casper stood up like he was going to pass protect. Let it clear out. He laid, breaking the 45-degree angle, kind of a little deeper than a flat maneuver.
1 minute and 40 seconds left to play, and the Raiders started back at their 32. They are now at the 19-yard line. 18 out of 30, 228 yards for Stabler.
2 pass coverage people came from the New York Patriots. I'll pick them up in just a moment.
All right, first down at the 19. Stabler back to throw. Spot left, looking. He's going to be hit and sacked. He is hit and dropped down for a loss back at the 27 to 28-yard line. Mel Lunsford gets the sack on the play. So 4th for New England this afternoon. They're 51st of the year.
Well, the Pats guessed right. They brought in Joe Blahak and Dick Kahn back up secondary people so that they could have actually 2 corners and 4 safeties in the game at the same time. They sacrificed a little bit on the rush, and that might well be the biggest fact that the Patriots will have all year.
A loss on the play of 9. Second down and 19. The ball at the 28-yard line. Paletnikov, wide left, going, looking. Stabler going to the far corner for Casper. It is incomplete at the 1-yard line. Covering on the play. Dennis McCray and Dick Kahn as they double team the big tight end.
Well, the Patriots, Tony, have gone, and it makes a lot of sense. They've gone to these 6 deep secondary people. They've pulled a couple linebackers and line people out, or 1 lineman, 1 linebacker out. They're putting man coverage on all of the receivers, tight end, 2 wide receivers. And then they are backing that up with a twin safety. So they're running all over the field with them, crossing patterns, everything that they can do, and backing it up with a 2 deep safety.
57 seconds left in the game. Third down and 19. Oakland 20, 21 to 17. They've got the ball at the New England 28-yard line. Lots to the right. Stabler back to throw. Looking, throws the ball. It is incomplete. Incomplete at the 2-yard line. stop with 52 seconds. The walk-off will be against the Patriots. And it'll be a personal foul call. And again, a three-point play doesn't mean a thing, but they're down in running room now, but 52 seconds on the clock. They probably have to throw some sideline patterns stopping the clock. All right, Van Egan comes in. Matasak comes out. The ball has been placed out at the 13-yard line of New England. The Patriots hanging on for dear life, leading 21-17. The Raiders with the help of a personal foul call. Get the ball, first down at the 13-yard line. Oakland huddle between the 20 and 25. Kovetnikov off to the right. Dave Casper, the tight end, is on the left side. Cliff Branch is in the slot to the right side. Here's Stabler back to throw. Looking, throws the ball to the sideline. Casper's got it, and he's out of bounds inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. McKean covering on the play. A gain of about 5 yards, second down. They had about 5 to go. We're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is Neutral, the News and Sports Radio Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
The call was roughing the passer. Van Egan comes out into the ball game with Matasak. Second down and 5 at the 8-yard line. Kovetnikov wide right. Branch out to the left. Stabler handoff. Clarence Davis inside the 5. Hit. Brought back to the 6. The tackle was made by Dave Tipton. But it'll be very close to a first down. 40 seconds, the clock stops. There's a timeout with a score. New England, 21. Oakland, 17.
Washington Redskins coach George Allen, the NFL's best-known cheerleader, was grim and restrained and spoke barely above a whisper following his team's 35-20 loss to the Minnesota Vikings Saturday in the first round of their NFC playoffs. We felt we had to start fast to control the game in the first quarter, Allen said, but they scored fast and we couldn't recover. Was he embarrassed by the overwhelming defeat at the hands of the Vikings? No, not embarrassed, but I'm very disappointed, he said, especially after the season we had. I'm proud of the way the team came back during the season to get into the playoffs, and I'm proud of the way we came back in the second half. We lost to a good team, and we have nothing to be ashamed of. Allen led a chorus of compliments for the Vikings. They knew what they had to do. They knew they had to shut down our running game, and they went out and did it. Said quarterback Billy Kilmer, that's why we're champions. That's why they are champions. And that's why they won today. Reminded that some key passes bounced off the hands of his receivers. Kilmer snapped. We had some drops, but I threw some bad ones too.
Cliff Branch has come out and they put in the ladder beef. Henry Lawrence, a 273-pound tackle in. Third down. A yard to go for a first down. The ball at the New England 4-yard line. Oakland in possession, spreading 21-17. Stabler handoff, Matasak, first down, I believe. It'll be very close. He is hit inside the 5 down to about the 3-yard line.
And just 3 seconds have ticked off the clock. It started with the snap of the ball at 40 seconds, 37 showing. And they did signal now.
A penalty marker was thrown in the end zone. It's going to be a wrap against the Raiders. Personal foul, rather, against the Patriots. Personal foul has been called against New England.
And that was halfway to the goal because they had picked up the first down.
The ball is down at the 1.5-yard line. Well, penalties certainly have played a big part in this football game.
37 seconds on the clock. 4 points ahead. New England Patriots on defense at a 1.5-yard line. Their own back to the wall. And a three-pointer won't help them, but Oakland Raiders have to get the ball into the end zone to score.
Earlier this afternoon, Minnesota walloped Washington 35-20. The ball is now at the 1.5-yard line of New England. First down and goal to go. 37 seconds on the clock. The Raiders huddle at the 10-yard line. They trail by 4, 21-17. Out of the huddle he comes. Out over the football to Dave Dalby. Here we go. The handoff. Matasak does not get there. He is hit and knocked down. He was hit by Mel Lunsford. Got it down
Second down, 20 seconds now.
Second down, goal to go at the 1-yard line. Double set in. Here's Stabler rolling to the right. He's got a touchdown. There's a penalty marker on the play on the far side. Oh, is the penalty called again?
One thing that they are going to, when they talk about this play, if it's a good score, and it looks to me like it is, they're going to talk about one block.
The touchdown is going to hold up.
Right. There's one particular block in this whole thing. The line was stopped, frozen. Gene Upshaw pulled out and made the long block on the corner man, the one guy that knew that Kenny Stabler was going to bootleg it.
Somebody threw a smoke bomb out there. Play is going to be delayed here. 10 seconds left on the clock. Stabler scoring a touchdown on a rollout to the left.
Little run-action fake inside to pull everybody in man coverage to the defensive left, and Stabler ran to his offensive left, bootlegging it with a great block, really a key block by Gene Upshaw on the cornerback.
Well, they went 68 yards. In 13 plays. And Ray Hamilton's been kicked out of the game. Ray Hamilton, the nose tackle of the New England Patriots, has been ejected from the game.
I'm not mistaken, Tony, that personal foul that moved the ball halfway to the goal line, placing it on the yard and a half marker, might have been Ray Hamilton.
No, it's Prentice McRae.
Prentice McRae, I'm sorry.
68 yards, 13 plays. Stabler goes in for the touchdown. And Oakland's now out in front, 23-21, with 10 seconds left to go. Ray Guy will try to make it 24-21. Make that arrow man. Man will try with a PAT. The ball will be spotted down about the 9-yard line.
Today's episode is brought to you by thisdayinthenfl.com. Celebrating football's greatest moments, one day at a time. Listen to classic broadcasts, explore historic games, and keep the legacy of the NFL alive at thisdayinthenfl.com.